stadium or something.
Luke, I am you.
It's not me.
But okay.
I think
We
it's
are live with the BS Busters. I forget which number this is, but whatever. We're here. We're talking about the BS double standards continue. Um, so without further ado, let's get into it. So, yeah, that was Kenoshi. Kenoshi, you have to use the Google Hangout, not the YouTube thing, the YouTube window. But I digress. So basically, we're talking about the double standards in the industry. Basically, how you can do two equal actions can get two totally different reactions. And so, without further ado, I guess it's time to bring the case study. 2015 is turning out to be a very interesting year for multiplayer-centric games. We had a game come out a few months ago, about, I want to say 6 months ago, in March. 5 months ago in
Well,
March.
actually, not quite 5 yet. It'll be 5 in 2 weeks. It's like 4.5 months.
Mostly 5. We'll just say 5. 5 months ago in March, called Splatoon, and it launched with a lack of options in the multiplayer, no voice chat, and a dearth of content in terms of the amount of stuff you could do. Now, there was a single-player campaign that was relatively short. There is a local multiplayer experience.
But that single player campaign had the badass boss of all time.
It did. But I'm not looking at the subjective. I'm looking at the objectively speaking. This is what the game had. Now we have another game launching in just a few weeks, called Star Wars Battlefront, made by DICE, the same people who made Battlefield 4.
Broken Field.
Yeah, Broken Field 4. Now this game, just comparing it, just looking at the, also is lacking. It doesn't even really have a single player at all. It has a dearth of multiplayer content. There is multiplayer content there, but it's not like numerous. As a matter of fact, if you were to compare what you got in Battlefront 2 from 10 years ago versus what you're getting now, you would see that you're getting about 50 to 60% less game now than you got 10 years ago.
Now, I do have a question though, and this is not me, trying to start any flame war, but just have a question. Since we are being objective, I would also like to ask a technical question. Is Battlefront 60 frames per second?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm guessing because when I played the beta, I played it on PC, so I guess it depends on, what your rig is. I think, if I remember correctly, it's
on consoles.
On consoles, on the Xbox One, it's like 900p, 60, 50 frames per 60 to 50 frames per second, and on the PS4, I think it's 1080p, 60 to 50 frames per second. Don't hold me to that because I don't really, when I play a game, I don't really pay attention to shit like that. I don't really care, but apparently that's the case.
Okay. The reason I asked the question is because, although another game had its shortcomings that are similar to this one, I can say that as a technical feat, it's locked at 60 frames per second. And when it comes to shooters, that's a shooter I would prefer to play. It's a frame rate I would prefer in a shooting game.
Okay. I did not know that. That's good to know. So basically, you have in this other game, in the new Battlefront, less content, a limited voice chat. I'm going to call it limited because while you can use the innate voice chat that's on the system, let's be frank, the voice chat that is on the systems kind of fucking sucks. PSN voice chat and the Xbox One voice chat kind of fucking sucks. And if you're on PC, you're totally SOL because you don't even have that. You just gotta use Google Hangouts or whatever. Which kind of sucks if you have a shitty internet connection, because if you do have a shitty internet connection, you're not going to be able to play your multiplayer. So you're SOL in that regard. So you have two games that both launched with a dearth of content. And one added more content, but it was free. Now, for Battlefront, the new Battlefront game, there is more content down the line, but you're going to be paying $50 to $60 for it. So, one gave you content for free, and the other one's giving you content, but you're going to be paying, $50 to $60 for it. So, that's it. You've got. My question is this: where's the outrage?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the content, right?
My thing is, where's the outrage? Because you have a game that's launching with a small amount of content. The voice chat is lacking. It's very limited, and
no campaign.
No single player campaign. Yeah, they have you can play a co-op campaign, which kind of I'm like, I'm not cool with that.
So kind of like a Titanfall situation.
But where's the outrage? Well, because I remember 5 months ago a game launched that had very similar on the surface faults, and people. I saw an entire gaming community fall apart.
Also, Ref, you're forgetting one thing.
Yeah.
And you may have mentioned this. If you have, I apologize. But DLC, one had it completely free, while the other $50.
Yeah.
Let's say this. Before I get started, let's do my introduction. Finally, The Rock has come to Mr. Red Fox's show, and he says this. The bottom line, man, it's nothing but it's when you see double standards like this, it's more of a situation of who is behind the creation of the product. There's a hatred for Nintendo so deep and so bitter in this gaming field through the developers and the audience, the public. It's irrational. It's like Trump. It's irrational. It's not making any sense. It's just there. It's raging. It's not something you can reason with. Nintendo told you Splatoon was not going to have it because honest truth, most people on voice chat are not going to be here to be responsible on a competitive games like Splatoon, on a shooter like that. No, you're not going to have not going to have a good time doing the fat apple handshake. You're going to have obscenity. You're going to have harassment. You're going to have people talking about who's screwed up on the team. You're going to have a negative online environment. They just said, screw it. We're not going to put that on there because we want everybody to enjoy this game. If you want to grouse at the guy, you got to grouse in the Miiverse. But Battlefront does it because it's Star Wars, it's EA. They don't talk about that because they like the company. It's a difference. It's not going to be the same kind of grousing because it's not based on what's logical. It's based on a hatred. It's based on a resentment. And the whole thing that you should be angrier that you have to pay for artists for this extra content. When Nintendo triggered the content out, it's to make the game fresh, and they gave it to you. They didn't charge you for none of this stuff. They're still giving you free stuff over and over and over. That should make you happy. Over here, we got people wanting to charge you something that should have been in the game all along. That should make you outraged, but you don't see it. The double standards, to me, in my opinion, is not about the logic of the objectivity of it. It's more of who's the author of the work.
Well, all I'm going to say is this. It's some BS. It's some total BS. And I find it to be hilarious how, I'm not seeing the outrage. I'm not seeing people saying I'm going to buy this shit used. I'm going to, I'll get it when it's on sale, which we all know that by 4 months. we all know that in 4 months this game is going to be like $30. So, I mean,
I got about this Splatoon voice chat thing. I'm just gonna fill in because I'm. Oh yeah, what's going on YouTube? The one and only game on. I might be in. I'll just heads up. But going back to Splatoon voice chat, you know, it's kind of goes into what John was saying. They don't realize that Nintendo, first and foremost, is a family-friendly. Oh, we got voice chat in this game, and considering all the other ones that do it, like Call of Duty, it's negative. You know, you have a 6-year-old talking about someone what they did to somebody's mom, or someone saying this a 6-letter N-word. Anything goes on over there. But Splatoon, this is a family. It's made by a family-friendly company. I mean, they're not going to just give in to what someone said on YouTube. They take pride in what they do, and that's what they stand for. Family friendly, easy to pick up, play, but hard to master.
yeah, but who cares about the family, man? I'm trying to shoot some stormtroopers in the head, dude. What's wrong with you?
I'm reading some comments on the IGN story about it right now, and everybody, again, a few people that's grousing, but everybody's just so calm. It is bizarre. It's bizarre because I don't understand why there is such a dichotomy between the treatment of the same thing. You know, I understand, but I don't understand. You know, it's like, what is it with Nintendo that people hate so much? That they're happy, that they're friendly, and they're inclusive. Everybody wants to be cliquish or something. What's really? That's something I have to really do some studying on to figure out where this really comes from. Or is it simply the fact that maybe Nintendo represents the origins of gaming when you were a child, and to rebel against them is to rebel against your childhood. Maybe it's that simple. Maybe it's psychological. No.
It could be. I don't know. I find it hilarious how people are willing to accept. They're willing to accept. I mean, it's like if all things are being equal, you're being screwed over by Nintendo. It's an outrage. But you get screwed over by EA. Okay.
Yeah, they're passionate later. It's okay. I hear that a lot.
It's all right. I mean, you know, they're screwing me over, but I mean,
you know,
I really want to play that Star Wars.
If Nintendo does something wrong, it's all hellfire and brimstone then.
This resentment, man, it's irrational. It's just why? Well, it's not like they hurting anybody. First of all, I've been outraged since last generation that everybody's even paying for online. Period. That shouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah, I'm a little pissed off about that myself because I'm like, okay, I could understand if you were like Google or Verizon or any of these companies that's actually laying down the infrastructure. But if I already have high-speed internet, what the fuck am I paying you for to maintain what? Like, I don't get that. But you know,
they say you pay for a better experience, but how's it a better experience we pay for it a month and it still gets hacked on the regular?
Exactly. I mean, that bothers me a little bit.
Well, not even that. Another thing that pisses me off, and you know, this is sort of related, that with this whole generation, when do we become so willing to accept the fact that I can buy a physical disc and yet I still need to download a title?
Oh, you must be talking about Ubisoft with that Might and Magic 7. They're like, this is the collector's edition. It is literally $150, $60, $70, but we're gonna give you a Steam code and not a physical disc.
Really?
Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah. People got mad. People were really pissed about that.
There's still a big audience for physical products, and the developers are trying to push so hard. They're digital only, so they don't have to ever lower the price. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I believe, is still $60 on Steam.
Yeah, it is. Activision rarely lowers the price for their stuff, and when they do, it's never like as cheap. They bought the rights to what was the name of that title that I love so very much? Vampire the Masquerade. They bought the rights to it, and literally that game goes on sale once every blue moon. And when it does, like when it's not on sale, it's like I want to say $30. And here's the thing: you can go on Amazon and get the physical copy of this game for like $10, and that's including shipping. Like really, it's like $5 or $6, and you spent like $3.99 to get it shipped. And yet Amazon, like Activision's like, this is clearly worth $30. I mean, I love the game, but it's not worth $30. $15, yeah.
I mean, like I say, man, physical. It goes back to it's biological. I don't want to put my finger on air. When people go out to the hunt, they got a big game. They had harvest for the tribe. When you go out and pick crops, you got something in your hand. Something in your hand will never go out of style. That's part of being a human being. Digital is an option, it's fine. But as the only choice, no, we cannot have that. Physical always.
And then even going back to the whole Battlefront versus Splatoon argument, Nintendo has basically doubled the amount of content this game had from the beginning for free.
Yeah, it was free 99.
And let me also remind you people, in addition to that, Nintendo Network doesn't cost a damn thing. So it was truly for free. I didn't have to have a Nintendo Network premium account to get said content for my game. And yet, I can still play this game offline, and that content is still there. So I don't have, I mean, this was for free, and yet we just recently, 4 months after the game is released, got more content. And we have more on the way for free.
Free with no asterisk.
All I have to do is own the game and have a desire to play online. But the online is free, and if anyone knows me, has played with me, I'm around 500 plus hours in Splatoon, while my wife's around 250.
Yep.
So you can call me stupid all you want, but I can tell you this: I enjoy the game. Even my wife has praised that she loves having. Even if it came with the game, she loves having the content trickle out like this because it gives you a reason to come back to it all the time. Although I don't need a reason. I don't need a reason to come back to it. I'm probably still on it. But
addict. You're jonesing. Look, you're gonna be like Spike in the back alley, jonesing for your next splat match. Come on, baby. I just need to get one splat zone in. Come on.
I mean, but seriously. All this was for free. The weapons have basically been doubled. The amount of maps have doubled, and they are vastly different. And just even on top of it,
and not just that, redesigned some of them.
Yeah, the levels were increased by what, 100%? It went from 20 to 40, or was it 50?
Well, if you it also increased the level cap. Yeah, so basically it went from 20 to 50.
So 55, 50. I want to say no. It's 120% jump.
It's amazing what they've done with this game,
No, 100.
Now I'm
150.
I definitely have nothing against. I mean, I'm a Battlefield fan. I am, although I wasn't dumb enough to buy 4. But comparing this game to Battlefront. And people were outraged at Splatoon, but people are, right now about Battlefront, they're all calm and not saying much. It's kind of funny that you got one company giving you about half of what you had before in the last installment, and the same amount that Splatoon is giving you from the jump, more or less, and charge you full price, and then got the gall to say there's a season pass for $50. But yes, Splatoon for $60, you had people saying, "Well, I'll just buy it in August when the full game releases." But it's free. Once I spent my $60, it was free. I'm still getting content for free.
See,
So I guess technically speaking, that means that if all things are equal, and let's be objective and consider all things equal, then that means technically speaking that you paid $60 for a $120 game, because that's about how much the collector's edition of Star Wars Battlefront is. It's $120. It's $119 and some change.
You know, we talked about this last night. They want to
Yeah.
they really want to charge you $120 for this.
Yeah. So really, we should
Get
feel
away with it.
bad. We stole $60 from Nintendo.
So they'll charge you $60. So they'll charge you a
Hello?
$60 entry fee.
Sorry.
We stole money from Nintendo. They're gonna knock on our doors and be like that song from what's her name, Rihanna. Bitch, better have my money. Where's my 60?
this is what I say about this, man. Before Poppy gets in, I know Poppy got some words. The thing is, man, I say it all the time. I say it all the time. Nintendo is dad, and everybody else is the kid. Everybody's rebelling against Pops right now. Everybody think they know better. Is that they're in that teenage rebellion phase. That's what all this stuff is. It doesn't matter how good when Daddy pays the bills and goes and takes you to ice cream and takes you to the amusement park and you go to the mall. I want this. I want this. I want this. And you want everything you want, and he gives it to you. And then you take it for granted. I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like cutting the grass. I don't feel like washing the tub. I don't feel like washing the dishes. Because kids take things for granted when everything's given to you. When you got it good, when you're in paradise, you take things for granted, and paradise will get lost. These guys are out here scrambling because they're trying to rebel against the Papa. They're trying to rebel against what Dad has laid down for them. And they'll take all this junk because they're so bound by getting back at the Papa. So they'll buy Battlefront and get ripped off, and they'll put up with a lot of unnecessary things because they think it's better as long as they're not in Dad's house. That's what it's all about, in my opinion.
All right. Anything else? Anyone? Oh, Poppy's here. Sorry, man. I saw you, but you got your.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, man.
Sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We were just talking about the double standard between Battlefront, like how no one's really pissed off, and yet it has the same issues as Splatoon had when it launched, and yet no one's saying anything. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, I thought I would have seen some people saying, I'm going to buy it used, because you know this shit's going to be $30
yeah. I mean,
4 months.
Listen, I think Dave's had enough, made a video about the hypocrisy of gamers over that same thing right there. And I think he's right, because, I mean, the company behind this is DICE, right?
Yeah.
And DICE has been doing these ridiculous season passes and premium editions for the last 2 or 3 releases of Battlefield. So I'm saying what happened is I think what they're trying to do is test to see how loyal the Star Wars fans are before they have to pull back the numbers.
Well, I mean, there's something they're pulling back. They want to see how much they can stick up your butt until you complain.
Oh, I agree.
hey. That's too much.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
Hey. You've gone too far.
So they're charging you extra with the $50 season pass, and then they're charging you up the what with DLC. So people are complaining about the content being on the disc on Splatoon. So why the heck? And that content was free. All the content that we've gotten thus far was free.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me is that, like, you got a game that gave you all this content, like basically 100% more game for free. It was nothing, And then you have another game that has less content than previous iteration.
Mr. Red Fox, you're a big fan of Star Wars, so you were planning to buy this, or?
No. As soon as they said DICE was making it, I was like, because I remember Battlefield 4.
Oh, okay. Well, my question is this: if there's a lot of people out there that are complaining and don't like about this whole practice of the exorbitant costs and season passes and whatnot, were these people the intended market? Were they the ones going to buy the product, or are they just bitching just to bitch? And what do you guys think about people that bitch but they end up buying the fucking product afterwards?
I think in both cases it's messed up. But I mean, you should at least let your voice be heard, because this is messed up. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it, because there's tons of games that I did not like, or I wasn't down with the price. And here's the thing. We know that this game in the next 4 months is going to go down in price. Don't get it immediately. Wait about 4 months. Wait until February. I guarantee you that game will go on sale for like $40. Do not, if you're going to get something, especially from EA, because I'm one of those people. I used to be a huge EA fan because they bought BioWare and they had Maxis, and I loved those games. I loved SimCity. I loved SimCity 2000. I loved SimCity 3000. I loved Dragon Age and Dragon Age. Well, Dragon Age 2 is a piece of shit. I loved Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2. I love those games. But the thing is like, you just got to be like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I'm not going to buy this shit day one. I'm going to wait. Because here's the thing. If you have this game on PC, you probably have Steam. If you have a gaming PC, you probably have Steam. There's tons of shit. You could take that $120 for the collector's edition, go on Steam for the Christmas Steam sale, get this shit. Get access to games that will be fucking awesome. Okay? No question about it. Don't give them your money. And if you do, wait until it goes on sale.
Well, then we have the problem of gaming is an addiction. So people have to have that new $60 game, a game in which is going to go down in price in the next 3 to 6 months to like $30.
That's what I'm saying.
They have it day one.
Just wait. Just wait 4 months.
We live in a generation that doesn't like to wait.
Some of these gamers.
Yes, exactly. Say it again.
Just wait 4 months.
For some of these gamers, it's all about keeping up with the Joneses.
But just wait. I mean, it's not hard to wait just 4 months and be like, okay, look, I'll get this game when it goes on sale. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's tons of games that I've gotten in my life that I did not get at launch.
Yep.
Yep, like for example, I have the means to buy pretty much even both the PS4 and Xbox One, without struggle. Like, I can actually go buy those two consoles right now. I don't want them right now, and if I do buy one, it's not going to be a full price, and it's probably won't be used either. But just like I just got Mario Maker, I could have bought that game at launch, but now of course I know it's not going to drop in price until it's for another 3 or 4 years, but at least I know that I don't have to run out and get the game just because it released and just because everyone else has it. Like, I just recently saw, I think, Arkham Knight's on sale for like $15-20, and I was like, wow.
That's too much.
But even still, I feel sorry for those people that had to have it on launch day.
I'm glad I didn't buy that piece of shit.
And spent $60, and you mean to tell me a couple or maybe a few months later, $20? And yet right now, Mario Galaxy 1 in Target is still $30. This is a Wii game that came out close to 10 years ago.
Yeah, 2007. You're right.
$30 for Mario Galaxy 1, and don't even get me started on Mario Galaxy 2. That bitch is still $50.
Yep.
Well, the problem is we live in a generation of instant gratification. Gotta have it now. Gotta have it you have your smartphones and tablets where you get everything.
I wish I could play it now, but I can't.
Everything where you get everything right away, and then you also have.
Yeah, I I was mentioning earlier with Poppy, I said a lot of these big AAA third parties, they made gaming to become nothing but something to dispose of every year with all these annual releases of like all these shooters and sport titles.
Also,
Assassin's Creed.
It's just like the Apple products. They come out with an iPhone every year, and every time there's a new one, so people will dispose the old one just to get the new one to keep up.
well,
with
also
Jones.
there's the problem with digital. The biggest problem with digital sales is that you don't really think about buying it. Whereas when you go up to a retailer and you hand them over physical cash or your card, you're more reluctant to buy something.
Yeah.
Well, you're more judicious about it. But
Yeah.
then again, you feel better about it. Like, when I buy shit digital, like, I'm like, I gotta wait for it to, like, you buy it and then you gotta wait for it to download. It's a pain in the ass. But when I go to a store, and I mean, I'm finding less and less stores I want to give my money to because I don't like their practices. Like, I used to go to GameStop. I go to them sparingly. I don't go to Target. I don't go to Walmart. I get like 80% of my games from a mom and pop game store that also sells comics and miniatures. Like, I don't go to those people. I go to someone that I feel like I can trust. Like, I can go to them and I'll be like, okay, is this game good or not? They'll be honest with me. It's not like they're trying to sell me a fucking well, do you need insurance for your game? It's like, what I look like, a 4 or 5-year-old gonna pour ice cream on my system? Do I really need insurance for my system?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Never ever buy like insurance for anything because it's just a way for them to get more money out of you.
Yeah.
But no, let me go back to that thing you said earlier about the instant gratification, because this is about Super Mario Maker, about the 9-day wait, right? Nintendo did that to keep surprise in the game. So when you go play through the game, you find new things. But I found out now. I should have been noticed it, but nobody wants to discover the game anymore. Everybody wants the entire game to be posted on YouTube. All the secrets of Super Mario Maker is posted on the video in multiple areas.
What the hell are you talking about? That's not even the problem. People just want to pay for the damn shit now. They want to pay to play.
I mean, that's not a real gamer. A gamer, man. We came from I guess our generation, man. Then we had to learn from the hard knocks. I came up from the early arcades. I came up from the early '80s, and when them games beat your tail for that quarter, you had to work for that thing that ended, right? You had to work for that high score. And I played the old NES games when they had the glitch when the enemy kept coming back over and over like Ninja Guy, and that same bat kept coming up there and messing with your jump. I played in Castlevania. We played the hard stuff. We learned how to do the tricks. We had to grind for that stuff. I beat Bayou Billy a long time ago. I can't do it again. I know I can't. I beat Bayou Billy a long time ago when I was a kid. Those games made you work, and you had to discover things. When you went into the Konami code, you didn't know about the Konami code at first. Somebody told you the Konami code, and you played it. When you went to Capcom, you used the Capcom code and found the different colors on Street Fighter 2. We used to have a tips and tricks book to find it, but we wanted to find some things on our own. We wanted to go through the game. Oh, look at that little surprise! Look at that little surprise. That's gone now. Nobody wants surprise anymore. Everybody wants to know everything about the thing. It's the information. It's the information age, I suppose. I guess, but don't you want to have something to keep the game, charming for you? And that's why.
That's the problem with E3.
Wait. Hold that thought. That's another reason why games are being treated as disposable, because everybody plays through it so hard, and then they want all the stuff that took months and years to make. They eat it in minutes, and they want for the next game. They're insatiable. They get to the point where they're not enjoying their meal. They're wolfing out the food and not savoring it. So go ahead.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem with E3 is that people make all these speculations, hype themselves up because they don't want to wait till Christmas Day to open their presents. They want their Christmas presents now.
And that's like the best thing about Christmas. That's why I get tired of these people leaking shit all the time. Well, it's like, why would you do that? Where's the joy? I mean, I enjoy being surprised. I enjoy being like genuinely surprised. I enjoyed forget for my like 25th birthday, like all my family, my loved ones, like got a really great surprise for me. I was happy about that. I like being surprised. I don't want to be like, don't ruin the joy, you know? Don't ruin the fun.
It's like somebody, just like the person that data mined the Splatoon disc, revealing all the maps. It's like, to me, I could have read that whole thing because I actually saw like the link in the article. So I said no. I said I actually want to be pleasantly surprised. Like I want to know. I mean, I don't want to know what's coming. Just like I think the whole Ryu reveal for Smash Bros would have been way bigger if someone hadn't leaked it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the same thing for Roy. It would have been so much bigger if someone did not leak it. Nintendo would have this year in the bag if it weren't for that leak.
That's what I'm saying. Nintendo did win E3 because they gave all that. The D3 was before E3, but because everybody wants to spill the beans, everybody wants to know everything on the table all at once. For something that's good, but we got to know about what's about our health and our wealth, our safety. Yeah, you want that on the table. But these things that are benign, that hurts nobody, you want to be surprised. Like I said, I stay away from the internet when I play Super Mario Maker. I didn't mind the 9 days wait because I like to unlock. I like to find out as I play. I play a lot of my games. I don't even look at online guides until after I played the game a long time ago, like a long time. Animal Crossing New Leaf. That game still surprised me. That game came out 2 years ago. I'm still finding new surprises in that game right on. I've been playing. I play that thing to death. I'm still finding surprises. I like that kind of stuff when you see something you wasn't expecting, and you see the more depth of the game. But the current era, everything's being blasted. Everybody wants to make a headline. Everybody wants to be. They don't want to see anything fresh anymore. Everything has to be on the table, and then the game loses its zest and vigor because
they want it now.
I mean, but you know what's so ironic about that is the same people that want everything up front, right here, right now, want to know what everything's in the game, are these same folks that will blindly buy DLC for a game before the game even launches, not even knowing what the hell is in it.
Exactly.
That's the problem I have with season passes, and that's the thing. Okay, fine, you want to extend the game, but your management is so bad that you can't allocate that development cost for the expansions.
Well, no, not
Exactly.
that. I mean, I'm mainly talking about the fans because, okay, like I said, months back before Arkham Knight released, and there was a big whole controversy about having a $40 season pass, and all they announced that was in it was basically skins. And
they were like, it's got Catgirl and Batwoman. That's what they said.
But that's all they had announced. And so some guy on Google Plus, I forget what his name is, not important, but he was like, I'm gonna buy that and the season pass day one. And I said, so you're gonna pay $100 plus for a game? I said, you don't even know what's in the season pass. He said, yes, I said, well, dude, all they've announced so far is skins and playable characters. I said, but do you really think that's worth 2/3 of the price of a game? Just skins and maybe a playable character? I'm like, use your head. Like, but he's like, anything Batman, I'm gonna buy it. I'm like, and you're the detriment of the gaming community as we speak.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. We got to come to this, keeping things the way they should be, and a bunch of other less than ethical entities making things the way it should be, but the gamers are rewarding the unethical ones.
You know the scary thing about?
That's why you get screwed.
You know the scary thing about all this? It's a lot of the people who are supporting this are people that kind of should know better.
Yeah.
True. And then to add to that, like me, for example, I love Smash Brothers. But guess what? Although the skins for Smash Brothers are dirt cheap, I don't believe in paying for skins. I just don't. So although I love the game and I want certain characters, if I felt they were overpriced, even for Nintendo. So I said, you know, I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm saying that if Mario Kart can give me half a game for $12, why should I pay $30 for 10% of a game? That's the way I looked at it. And so I did not purchase it. I mean, that's why I looked at it. I don't hate Nintendo for it. I'm not mad at them. Disappointed, perhaps, in that particular instance. But just because I'm a fan of the game does not mean I'm going to blindly buy everything just because I'm a fan of that game. Like, that's not what I do.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm not going to knock their hustle. But like I said, and I've said the same thing, if I can get 50% more game in Mario Kart 8, and yet they can't seem to come up with a decent bundle for the shit they have for Smash Brothers. There's something wrong with that equation.
Absolutely. Did you guys talk about Destiny?
No, but we can talk about Destiny.
Think about what they did with Destiny. They promised those players when Destiny first arrived that game is going to be around for a decade, and they were going to get all this content. And look what happened. What they ended up doing. It was a bait and switch.
Of course. And
yeah, but we all knew that was going to happen.
These people pay for this game up front, and then they're having to pay for the DLC packs too. And I'm thinking to myself, this game you guys fell for, and it's nothing but Halo with the hood.
Exactly.
Yep. Halo with the hoodie.
It's not even a good Halo knockoff. They said, well, we're going for what Borderlands had, but we're going for the stuff they missed. And I'm like, it's not a good Borderlands knockoff. It's not a good Halo knockoff.
You missed everything that made Borderlands good.
Exactly. So. I mean, I don't know who is in charge of developing Destiny, but my God, you guys get an F. you get an F for failure.
To me, Mr. Red Fox, Destiny, the Activision, you gotta understand what Activision is. Activision is the first third party. The original Activision died a long time ago. That was in '86 when the original founders, they couldn't keep the business going. When the corporate guys took over, Activision has been like this ever since. That's like mid '80s, early '90s. And Activision knows how to find a cash cow, but that's what keeps them alive. That's why they probably will never fall into the crash, because they know how to find a cash cow. They had the Call of Duty cash cow. It's still here, but it's eroding slowly but surely every year. They moved on to the Skylanders cash cow. That's starting to erode a little bit now. Before they had the Guitar Hero cash cow. Remember?
Yeah.
So
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk. They find a cash cow and run into the ground, and it's dead. So with Destiny, they're trying to future-proof a cash cow for the future. They call themselves putting Destiny out to lock in, so they can say, okay, we can put Destiny out and keep iterating off this thing. When Call of Duty runs out, when Skylander runs out. That's why they did all that. But that's why the developers develop the thing and not in the right way, because they're not coming from a pure perspective. They're coming from a financial focus perspective instead of making a good game. And that's why the game is not up to the hype that everybody builds up. They got a lot of suckers, though. I mean, like I say, it doesn't matter at the end if people pay for it and reward that stuff. When people reward bad things, you'll get more bad things. But that's Activision's plan to keep alive. They had to find this one big cash cow to milk into the ground. EA's cash cow is to hoard those sports licenses and become the only place you can play NFL or FIFA. That's the only thing keeping them alive. These are very fragile entities without those little plans. They can't make games on their own merit. They make games more of a cookie cutter mode than from the hard mode.
That's terrifying. I mean, that scares me more than the scariest video games I've ever played. Which, speaking of scary shit, and industrial standards and how companies make their money, I guess it's time to segue to the second part of this cast, which is the second topic, which is we got some more NX news this week. And I'm just gonna read what was said. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna tell you what they said. Okay. And they is in quotation marks because they never tell you who exactly said this shit. It's always, well, I heard a dude who heard a dude who knew a dude who said this to another dude.
Exactly.
That's not too far from the truth there, Mr. Red Fox.
And I don't. First of all, if someone can't give me hard data, I don't trust them, especially when it comes to business, because business is about numbers, and like hard numbers. And if you don't give me numbers, then I'm sorry, I'm not stupid. I don't have dummy written across my forehead. So. Here's what we've heard. Here's the rumor, okay? So several people who said, and this is from the Wall. This is the author of the article who wrote the thing for the Wall Street Journal. Several people who have seen a demo said what they saw is impossible to run on a computer without industry-leading or cutting-edge chips. Cutting edge in what way? They refuse to elaborate. And an important thing to remember, probably you know well already, is that chipset specs won't be finalized until much closer to the date to the release.
Yeah.
Can I say something about this?
Go ahead.
Somebody I'm subscribed to, real good channel, has made his comments about it, and of course they're swallowing this shit up like it's fact. And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say it's completely impossible. I'm gonna say it's highly unlikely because there's a console out right now that has a chipset.
This door open, that door open, this all open, this door open.
I'm still finishing up putting some of the stuff
No one
together.
knows how to take advantage of, and that's the Wii U.
You don't have
The Wii U's chipset is very unique that even PCs, powerful PCs, will need additional equipment just to somewhat simulate what it could do.
That's bull.
And so, people are saying that it's far more powerful than PS4. The two times that Nintendo has went for power, they have not been that successful. And somebody else today made a comment saying that, well, I said, power's never won a console race. They said, well, the Super NES is more powerful. And I said, it wasn't the most powerful. The Neo Geo was. Forget about that one? Neo Geo. See, people don't think about that. They just think about the main two. I said Neo Geo was far more powerful.
Yeah, and the Neo Geo sold like ass. I mean, it literally sold like ass.
Exactly. What happened with that? The GameCube was powerful.
Yep.
Did not sell that well. Although it had the highest attach rate in history, did not sell that well in terms of console units. It's like, so, no, the powerful consoles never won. Then, of course, they mentioned the PS4 and claimed that they exposed me. I said, but this console generation is not over. We're just now entering the third year. And I said,
I'm gonna come right.
I'm thinking to myself, people keep thinking that this system is gonna cure cancer. In the same manner that the PS3 lets you do folding. I'm sorry, people. If you think Nintendo's really going for power, that it's not going to happen. If you think, but it is possible Nintendo's going for something that no one else is going to be able to take advantage of or emulate, like the Wii U.
And see, that'll feel good. I gotta follow right behind you because, man, you almost like you took the words right out of my mouth, man. Because when you say, I want you to say it loud and clear again for the people that don't understand about this power. Say it one more time. In 43 years of the video game industry, how many times has power won a generation?
0, because you can't maintain a good, power in relation to consumer cost.
And not only that, but power in terms of developers, because people have to make games for your console. If your console is so damn powerful, or even a handheld, because hey, why the hell not? I mean, look at the Vita. The Vita, very powerful handheld. To make a Vita game, a good Vita game, it costs about as much to make a good PS3 game, and that's more money than most people are willing to put down for a game, for a handheld.
Not just that, guys. It's the most basic reason why power doesn't matter in this stuff, in this realm. A console is a fixed piece of tech. It's fixed. Power is for the cutting edge. The cutting edge is moving. Fixed versus dynamic. They don't match. A console is a fixed piece of tech. It's you aim for a certain amount of power, and you stay there for 5 to 7 years. And that's it. It's never going to be cutting edge by definition. Consoles are not cutting edge. They're not supposed to be cutting edge. They're not. They never were and never will be cutting edge. That's
Well, the console is the lowest common denominator. It's basically the console is designed to hit the console is designed to hit the second largest base of the audience. The lowest common denominator you can find is a handheld, aka the mobile market. That's the lowest common denominator because everyone has a smartphone. Everyone can afford a damn handheld.
But
There's no excuse for you not being able to afford a handheld. But really good handhelds are cheap to make, cheap to develop for, and cheap to buy.
but to add to that, this person that I mentioned earlier, that on my Google Plus post, also mentioned that more power means developers can can actually put more effort into the system, blah blah blah, make better games because limitations hold them back. I'm like, actually,
No.
limitations have driven and have resulted in some of the most creative games in history.
Yeah.
That
Well,
feel good.
here's my
That feel good.
question. If
Mario Maker was actually designed for the Wii.
Yeah, so here's my question. If power makes better games, why is it that from third parties with each successive generation, the quality of the games that we're getting is going down?
No, see,
Not
here's the
up.
thing. Here's the thing, guys. That about the limitations. See, they can't never run this out on me because I came through the 4th generation. I seen the Sega Genesis in action. I seen that little weak Sega Genesis match up the powerful Super Nintendo and almost beat them. I seen that generation. They can't tell me that all this horsepower will give these guys power to develop for. That's bullshit.
It's called imagination. It's called
With-
ingenuity. It's called coming up with
Exactly.
something creative.
And that's what we used
Think
to
it outside
have.
the box.
I miss Sega, man. I miss them so much, man. I wish the Dreamcast succeeded. We would not be in this mess right now. Because the bottom line, the gamers have gotten caught up. It's the PC. It's what this is. It's 30 years ago. Nintendo changed the world. They changed everything. The Americans started the video game business in 1972, and they threw away the business they started. The Japanese, through Nintendo, took over this business. They own it to this day. It's still theirs. And when Nintendo became the king of the business, the PC market PC developers have been salty and nasty ever since, and they've been trying to get revenge. It's a long resentment, and they can't win in their own environment. They came to the console and try to turn the console into a PC. They bring all these PC mentalities about building your rig and all this nonsense. Spend all this money to play a game. Come on, I'm not paying $2,000 to play a simple game. That game better cure cancer, do a lot more than have fun with. If I'm paying that kind of money. So the bottom line is, you got people talking about power, when power never. Listen, you said 2 times, I say 3 times, because Super Nintendo was very powerful, not the most powerful, but it was very powerful for a console, and had to fight for its life against the Genesis. The 64 was more powerful. Don't give me that thing about cartridge, because cartridge can do everything that this do and better if you put enough room in there. But the 64 couldn't get arrested because everybody was on the PS1's nuts. And we come to the 6th generation. We had the Xbox and the GameCube, powerful, outright powerful, and powerful. And the PS2 demolished them. It means nothing. It never meant nothing. It never will mean nothing. And NX, cutting edge technology. Are you kidding me? Nintendo does not. This is Yokoi's company. This is Yokoi's principle. Lateral thinking of wizard technology. They don't spin themselves into the ground to make things. They're not going to go cutting edge on tech. That means that cutting edge today is yesterday's news tomorrow. That's not going to ever be the case for Nintendo. They're too cheap for that.
Exactly. Nintendo. They use withered technology.
Wow.
That's what they do. They use old tech in new and inventive ways. So basically, with the innovations, as technology has gotten smaller and more efficient, I wouldn't be surprised if they do some shit that is gonna blow people's minds. But if you're thinking they're putting like, AMD, everything is on one die, everything is integrated into one thing on a fucking console, are you insane?
Nintendo is, man, and they don't even know what NX is. Everybody is talking like NX like it's factual. They think the Wii U is in the graveyard. The Wii U just like Dr. Feelgood said, the generation just got started. We just started the 8th generation. Microsoft and Sony have not left the 7th generation yet. It's still everything on the PS4 and Xbox One, except for a handful, is playable on the last gen consoles. What's really age gen about these consoles right now? Nothing new. Mario Maker, I can't play that on the Wii. I can't play Splatoon on the Wii. I can't play Mario 3D World on the Wii. I can't play Smash Bros. Wii U on the Wii. These games are age gen, real age gen. Pikmin 3 can't play on the Wii. But I can play all these games on the Wii U. This is 8th gen, built for the 8th gen. That's how it used to be. These other guys with the hype behind them are selling a bunch of 7th gen upscale stuff to a bunch of unwitting consumers and getting away with it. These guys are not going to go to the end of the generation. Everybody think the Wii U's in the graveyard. The Wii U just got started. The Wii U's actually having one of its best years right now. It's still slow going, yes, compared to what it should be doing. But the sky's the limit. This console is going to be here for a long, long time. You're going to see it to the end of this decade, 2020, because there's no point. Another reason why NX is not replacing Wii U and none of this stuff, nobody thinks about this stuff. Game called Mario Kart 8 just came out last year. A game called Super Smash Bros. Wii U just came out last year. You're not going to see another iteration of these games for the home console for at least 6 years. At least 6 years. If Sakurai makes another Smash Brothers, he gets burned out making the Smash Brothers he's making now. So they're not going to launch a console without the heavy hitters. Without the heavy hitters, a new home console is not coming out. That means NX is not going to be a home console, and I don't think it's going to be a handheld either, because 3DS is still hitting its strides. It got a lot of games put on the 3DS before the 3DS is ready for the graveyard. And it's not, Nintendo, they don't get it out now. When that fiscal report come out at the end of this month, we're going to find out how weak Nintendo is. They're going to have so much money, you wish they'll give you a loan. So NX is something else that goes alongside the existing platforms. I believe it faces off against the tablets directly. It's something to do with those guys. That's what it's for.
So you think it's going to be an integrated, you think they're going to integrate all of their devices into one super device, if you will? Interconnected ecosystem type thing?
No. In a way, I don't, because the development may be integrated, and they're already doing it. And they already showed you that now when they reform the teams, right? The development's going to be, because honest truth, you got to think about it. The 3DS is pretty much a GameCube in your hand. The next thing after the GameCube was the Wii. We pretty much caught up. The handhelds caught up with the home console, just like it did, like the home console caught up with the arcade about 10, 20 years ago. So the situation is, what Nintendo's going to do, the reason they're not going to stop selling 2 devices, because that's why they survive against these giants. Nintendo's a baby company. Nintendo's a small, like a honey badger, really tiny but really deadly. The only reason they can survive these giants is because you can't kill both heads of the Hydra first to kill them. You don't kill Nintendo until you kill the handheld and the home console. Then you have a chance. If you get the home console crunch, you got the handheld running wild. If you try to crunch the handheld, the home console runs wild. They're not going to kill that advantage they have on the market.
Now they got the Amiibos. Amiibos are running wild.
Oh my God, Amiibo's the third arm.
They just went in and basically disrupted the whole Toys to Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Red Fox told us earlier that they're #1 now. I thought it was
Nintendo.
No.
What? Nintendo basically came in and said, "Motherfucker, don't forget, we started out as a toy company, right?"
They're #1.
Yeah, they told me.
Really?
Yeah,
and
that's basically what they did. They're like, don't forget, motherfucker, we are a toy company, right?
They're #1. Is that what you're saying on the Toys to Life?
Yeah, in Toys to Life, in terms of like market share and like, I mean, not in terms of like units on the shelves, but the thing is like the only thing.
I was about to say, because I go to GameStop, and GameStop has the Amiibos all the way in the back, because Nintendo don't want to pay them any fucking shelf space up.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I've gone to Target.
You see how the game is rigged, people?
No, I've gone to Target. I've gone to Walmart. I've gone to other places aside from GameStop.
Talk about that there, John. Tell them about that shit, man. These kids don't know any, man. They think that the reason the shelves are stocked the way they are is because they don't have enough, or it's not selling well. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna get back to you. Come after me, Red Fox, because I'll break it down right here. The whole thing is, man, when it comes to GameStop, they can't make no money off Nintendo because Nintendo does not have resale. When you buy it, you keep it. So GameStop makes their money on the resale. And we were talking about before the podcast started that I just went to my GameStop to buy my Yoshi Woolly World. I did with them only because of the Amiibo. Because I have to, right? But the situation is, they basically put all the PS3 and 360 games on the outside in a pack of plastic bins, pretty much for the 5-finger discount. They want the kids to steal the game, pretty much, really. Sell or steal, just get them out of my store. And then you think they would replace what the PS3 and 360 were with PS4 and Xbox One, but that's not the case. I went to this GameStop this past Friday, and this whole thing's filled with toys now. Now you have figurines, toys, and it's like a hobby shop now. And yet Nintendo's still toward the back in the small space, like they always are, treated like a redheaded stepchild. But yeah, when it comes to toys of life, I mean, of course Nintendo's going to win this thing. I didn't think they would do it that soon because, they're newer. I thought they were still climbing up. I know they were beating somebody. I thought they still had to beat Disney first. But when Red told me #1, I said, wow, this fast. Because nobody has the characters they have. These characters, I mean, Chibi Robo, everybody want to talk crap about Chibi Robo. I love Chibi Robo. I love the game too. Chibi Robo.
Me too. I like Chibi.
That's my boy right there. I'm glad he's using the Amiibo to sell the game. It sells one way or another. And this is just getting started. They get the cards, guys. They're playing card companies from the very beginning. They still make playing cards in Japan. They still make regular decks. They put the cards, they put the toys, and they put the game. They're putting the roots out all in your face, man. So Amiibos is a rail we haven't seen coming. When they combine with Disney, that's the final frontier. When you finally see Mario and Mickey Mouse, when you see Luke Skywalker and Link, Donkey Kong and the Incredible Hulk, it is going to be on, baby. When you see,
I'm going to tell you right now, if Disney and Activision with their Skylanders, if Disney's Infinity Toy Box and Skylanders, if they join with Nintendo, if they hit the trifecta and they make like a Nintendo cross, Disney Infinity cross, like where you can use the Amiibo into Disney Infinity and Skylanders, it's over.
Yeah, I saw that as soon as they showed it at E3. As soon as they showed, I said, "Wow, Nintendo is just that powerful." I said, "Wow, they are going to absorb these people." It's like Cell with Android 17 and 18. You will be a part of me. So,
that's the end of it. I mean, that's the end. I mean,
so all these things Nintendo got running. You got NX, which nobody knows about. They will be a hybrid console, like in development sense. But I think in physical device, they will be separated. They will not. They will probably working from a similar. I don't know how they're going to do it because you got to see it to believe it. Because Nintendo's going to do something we're not expecting. You can never really fully figure them out. But I think the development things will be united. I don't know if the device will be united. It might not be just two. I do believe that part of the story, that it might not just be two devices.
I could see that.
And this is something I'm gonna talk about too real quick. Like everybody was losing their mind when the company, when Nintendo was like no longer in the top 100 in Japan or something. And I'm like, people want to use that as fuel to the fire. What they don't realize is that Nintendo still has the most market share for video games. If you combine both Wii U and 3DS, that's over 60 million.
Well, I mean, and not only that, that list was bullshit anyway. And I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean that list was bullshit? I looked at that list. That list didn't have Nestle on it. Now, here's what you guys need to know about Nestle. Nestle holds about 60 to 70% of the total chocolate market in the world. Period. They have some of the highest rated stock value in any exchange that they're on.
Oh,
so basically, like, they're really fucking expensive. Like you own like 5 or 6 shares of Nestle. Your dividends that you get paid, basically, you could probably, like, if you lived modestly, if you were middle class, like if you lived a middle class lifestyle, you'd be set with the dividends every quarter. You'd be fine. You'd live just fine. They're not on that list. So I mean, like a subjective ass list like that, I'm like, I can't really give much credence when you don't have a major hitter like that on the list. So
not just that, they don't own just chocolate. They own also many other food companies too.
Exactly. I mean, but really, they didn't have Nestle, they didn't have Hershey. Hershey owns like the other 28% of the chocolate, especially in America. They run America, and like maybe like a quarter of Europe is Hershey. I mean, I don't. It's weird, man.
Yeah, well, but going back to what I said, like, how are they relevant when combining both handheld and console is over 60 million units sold, and that's not even including their software. And then you get the Xbox One by itself, it's like 13, and then both PS4 and Vita, it's like 39 million, I think.
Yeah, and Vita's not gonna make much more after this because it's just a dead console. It's pretty much we're quibbling over Nintendo being outright dominant to Nintendo being majority. That's what we're quibbling about. Nintendo, and I guess if they're just majority, they're out of business. Here's the thing. It's a link on YouTube. I think it came from Nico Duga. I gotta find this clip I put on the chat sidebar so y'all can look at it. It shows the history of worldwide market share. It also one that shows the Japanese market share alone. But even when the PlayStation 1 and PS2 was doing their most dominant work, Nintendo at worst went down to 39.5% of the market. They barely went under 50%. At their worst, they hit right around 40%. And that's during the transitional year when one old console was passing to the new. They never were really in trouble that much. That's the whole thing people don't understand about when they talk about Sony and Microsoft on Nintendo. But all they did was just cut in Nintendo's business. They didn't really stop Nintendo.
Yeah.
Even through the game era.
See, dude, you can't talk like that. Cause see, you're hurting people's opinion because they have their own little opinion of how things should roll. And we're joined by Triple M. How's it going, Triple M?
Yeah.
The lone wolf.
With a fondness for gaming. I guess he'll join us when he gets a chance. But, yeah, I mean, it just seems kind of funny to me that, I mean, like, people, like, why are you in such a hurry to glom on to something that we know nothing about? Like, what if Nintendo came out and said the NX is a website? Boom. And just walked away. Like, what if it's the new Nintendo network. Yeah, you log into it and all your shit's interconnected. Boom. And just walks away. And then they'd be like, how dare you? Nintendo's dead.
I'll be laughing the whole entire year. Pretty much.
I would be laughing too, but I'm just saying. Before we move on to the third section, we've got some questions here. And let's get to some of them before we move on to the other topics. We have a comment here from One White Kong, and you literally can't scratch a Blu-ray anyways. I don't know where that came from, but I guess that's his comment. We'll go to another question. Okay, this one's from Anderson Archilla. Seeing how many people let a company steal people's money for a racing game, approve of last-gen ports that are 80% of the library of the two consoles, and now call a Chewy, can the situation and people get any more ridiculous?
Never say never with ridiculous. There's always a lower bar.
I don't know, man, but that call a Chewy, you know. when Chewbacca rips people's arms off out of their sockets and beats them to death with it, that's gonna be awesome. Like he should be able to do in every game that he's in. Anyone want to get into that?
I'll let y'all do it. Go ahead.
What was the question again?
Question is, seeing how people let a company steal people's money for a racing game, I guess he's talking about Project Cars, approve of last-gen ports that are 80% of the library of the two consoles, the HD twins, and Call of Chewy, which is the new Battlefront game. Can the situation and people get any more ridiculous?
Well, it's about to. You got two companies that are about to release some virtual reality headsets.
and you know, oh man.
And apparently, you know, according to, you know, their sources, that strapping a screen 2 inches from your eyeballs that's in high definition and while still playing with a damn 20-year-old controller, that makes for some new groundbreaking technology in gaming, a new way to play. But the Wii U gamepad is a gimmick.
Yeah.
Double standards again.
Yeah. Anyone else want to get in? Anyone else want to break their foot off in their question before we move on to the next one?
All right, I will.
I have one more before you go.
Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, hey, if you people out there are willing to believe these two new consoles are next gen and their games are next gen, although we are currently in a gen, so it's actually current gen, but yet 80% of their games, if not more, are also released on last gen iterations. Do you still want to stick to the story of this is next gen when this next gen product also fits on last gen? I'm looking at you, Destiny. Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're so next gen and it cannot be done on anything but a next gen console, why is it being done on a last gen console?
Well, I mean, that's the hilarious thing about half of the games that I've seen coming out is like I'm looking at it and I'm like, this shit could have came out on the PS3 or the Xbox 360. Like I'm not seeing anything where I'm like, this shit could not have been done on the last console.
Like for example, like Persona 5, I'm getting on the PS3. And someone told me like, well, forget that. You know, I'm going to get on the PS4 because you know I want the graphical fidelity. You go right ahead with your mandatory installs, and because I bet you we both raced to play the game first, I bet you I beat you by a good half hour.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand people who are so like they always like. I don't understand people always have to have the latest and the greatest because sometimes shit is you know, it's not going to always be latest and the greatest. You know.
Nope.
I mean,
it won't be the greatest.
Yeah, sometimes moving on to the latest is not necessarily the greatest. Because I mean, have you ever been to a place that has those new digital registers when the network goes down and someone's forced to actually use math and you give them a 20 and they got to break a 20? Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
No, let me break down the ridiculousness, man, because we got a pack of gamers that are trained to follow brands. They're not following quality; they're following brands. That's what this is really about. These guys, you know, I say it all the time. I might have said it in the show before. I'll say it right here. There's a difference between a consumer and a customer. Let me break this down. A consumer, he opens his mouth wide like Pac-Man. He eats everything. He's drooling over himself. You put anything in his mouth, he'll eat it. You'll put a cookie, you'll put cyanide tablet, you'll put Presto in his mouth, you'll put, you know, a rock, he'll eat it because it's in his mouth. He eats it and swallows it. Oh, he's a consumer. A customer.
Popping pills like Skittles.
There you go. he's just a gutter and just going down the gutter. He's swallowing stuff. A customer, he's using his brain, he's using his judgment. He goes and makes an exchange as an equal with the seller. He's a buyer, the seller needs a buyer, and the buyer needs a seller. So you have a product I need? Why do you think when you go to these car shops, they call them custom shops? Why do they call them custom shops? See the word custom right there in the word. A customer is making a deal with his. It is a client relationship. It's a situation where you got a product for me. Is it up to snuff? Is it up to quality? I'll give you this in exchange for this product. It's a trade. It's a standing of equals. When people call me consumer, I don't want to be called a consumer. I'm a customer. I come here to make a judgment. I see if it's worth the purchase, and I buy it. I don't just if it's put in front of me, I don't just eat it just because it's in front of me. That's the difference between the consumer and the customer. We have a pack of consumers in the industry and not enough customers, and that's why you have to eat up all this foolishness. They will eat up VR and buy this overgrown helmet. I would suggest they keep it in the box so they get resale value down the road because it's not going to be worth anything outside the box. So you got people, you know, it's going to get more ridiculous. I'm witnessing the ridiculousness right now. I can't believe this generation is going on this. We're 2 years into all three console makers being in the generation, and there's nothing on these new consoles that's really H-Gen. That's unheard of. Even the last generation they did it. Halo 3 was for the Xbox 360 alone. It was not for the Xbox original. Whatever was on the PS3 was for the PS3. Resistance Fallen Man was not done on the PS2. So all of a sudden, we got people buying the same thing they bought last generation, this generation with a slightly better piece of gloss on it.
Coat of paint, yeah.
They're going for it, and then they're not thinking about what they're buying. Greatness awaits. Greatness awaits.
Yeah, and they're happy with it. That's the thing that gets me. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy the same. I'm gonna buy a marginally better piece of shit from what I could have gotten last gen. I'm great. It's great.
We got a pack of suckers out here right now, and we need somebody to keep this thing into. We got one against the crowd. We got 2 against 3. 2 out of the 3 selling crap, and one's keeping the thing, keeping it real. And right now, that's why they must succeed, because I can't have an industry selling me this at I don't want. First of all, when we started a season pass. Season pass is for a stadium when you go to a sporting event, not for a video game. Who said season pass for a video game? You know, that's when I get my ticket. And I get to go to watch the Dolphins every day, right?
I want to say it started with in the late 6th gen on PC. Like,
see, there it goes. PC,
on PC, but with PC, it kind of made sense because, like, you're talking like PC gaming when it first got started. They didn't have DLC. They had expansions. Like, you'd have a 60, 70, 80-hour game, and after you did all that, they were like, okay, we'll give you another 30, 40 hours with an expansion. So, I mean, that's a huge amount of content for like $20. But now it's like they're like, here's a season pass, and you get maybe like it's a 30-hour game. You might get 5 hours worth of extra content for like.
And on top of that, and the best part about it, you get speed pants.
Yeah, those speed pants for pre-ordering. Don't forget the speed pants. Yeah.
There's never a lowest level. How much ridiculous it's gonna get? Wait and see, because gamers are suckers right now. A lot of them are. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Okay.
So, it's like politics. I thought politics could get no lower, and it's showing me every day how low it can get.
It's like never say this is as low as they can go. We have another question from Anderson Archilla, which I unfortunately skipped and got to come back to. Seems the modern gamer has been conditioned to think a certain way without question. Is there no amount of education and reasoning to help cure it? I'll answer this one. No. Because basically, I thought people would get tired of getting screwed over and having their wallet raped, but they just, I mean, like I said, like we said in the first part of this cast about Battlefront versus Splatoon, people were up in arms about Splatoon, but they're perfectly the same shit that they say Nintendo did with Splatoon, EA and DICE are doing with Battlefield, and I'm not hearing any. Like nothing. I mean, literally, for Rat Party, you could hear it. That's how quiet it is. And I don't know what a rat sounds like when it farts, but apparently, like you can hear it if it's quiet enough. Our next question is: even through all the NX BS, even though all the NX BS will drive some of us insane before the damn thing is even revealed, he said that at least when it launches, it'll be harder to sabotage because a year or two of talking about it can't just be swept away.
Oh no, it's going to be swept away.
It depends. Like, I don't think it can be swept away just because there's nothing else to do. I mean, at this point, the bastions that third parties have hid behind when they threw rocks and hid their hands are gone. Microsoft is. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. Microsoft is doing their damnedest to leave the console market. Like they're rolling up the red carpet. They're putting boards over the windows. Like they're about to roll. They're about to shut down shop with that particular branding. You know, with that particular product. You know, and I can't say I feel bad about it because I mean, Microsoft, in my opinion, has done more harm to the console industry than good. So I'm not really sad to see them go. I'm like, you're like Atari, fuck you, you know. But
the reason why I say that they're going to sweep all this perceived information under the rug is because how many times or how many generations has it been that the third parties, and even media are basically has done this before. So I'm seeing
Yeah.
as soon as Sony or Microsoft comes up with something that is, or either it's a new console or a new service or something else, or they even get out of the whole traditional thing, you know the media is going to backpedal on that thing.
Yeah, this to talk about NX is the real reason they talk about NX so hard is to devalue Wii U and devalue 3DS. They're not really promoting Nintendo. They're really backhanding Nintendo, telling them that you need to get out of the console market. You need to do this. You need to go home. They want Nintendo out of this business. They want them gone. It's a resentment. It's a nasty grudge. It's an old nasty grudge. It's bitter, and it's getting bitter about a minute. And when they talk about NX basically makes you forget about Wii U. And everybody thinks Wii U is gone because everybody talking about NX all the time. You got people really believing. I mean, Neo JF is convinced. I mean, they convinced themselves like this is fact that Zelda, the Wii U Zelda that got pushed back, because it got pushed back, it must be on NX with Wii U or NX only. You don't even know what NX is. It's for the Wii U because it's using the U-pad. You can't get around that. That's a Wii U game. Period. The fact that Miyamoto announced a Pikmin 4, another real-time strategy game, which is ideal for the U-pad, means the Wii U is going to be here, and everybody's going to be surprised when next year shows up that pack of announced games. So I hope we get it right before the year is out. But
so John,
NX, go ahead.
Yeah. So do you think that basically Nintendo's going to pull a Wii like they did with the Wii as far as re-releasing the GameCube hardware? Just spruced up a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's what the Wii U is already. I mean, they've been when they built the GameCube, Nintendo did aim for the power, and they maximized. They got the most out of their power with the GameCube. They put all that they used. They said, if we win, lose, or draw, we're gonna draw from this for the future consoles because we built a strong enough, efficient powerhouse system that can run what we need to run, but not cost us too much. They wanted they put Nintendo builds long scale because think about this. When they put out I think Red Fox talked about this on an old podcast. The Wii, the reason they put the Wii out the way it did because they had to get rid of the GameCube stock in the warehouse. They had to basically use the leftover parts and say, okay, take that stuff, rework it, put it out on a new system.
Yeah, so it's essentially, so people are talking shit right now about the NX. I don't care when whatever Nintendo's next console is going to be. I don't care what anyone says. It's going to be using Wii U parts in it, and these dumbasses are going to go and buy the shit who were bitching about the Wii U, and they're going to not going to be like, oh, I love this console. It's like you realize they're playing with the Super Wii U, right? Dumbass.
I have some news for you guys. I'm pretty sure most of you are aware of this, but you're all wrong and you're all right because some people have already fell so in love with the NX they've already bought it. They bought the concept of the NX. They reserved it at GameStop.
That's just
Is this
stupid. I'm
happening
sorry.
again?
Yeah, that's just stupid.
Is GameStop actually taking pre-orders on that shit?
No, when they first announced the NX, when they first announced it, people actually went to GameStop and actually pre-ordered it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, look it up, dude. Look it up. People were reserving a fucking idea.
There's that sheep mentality right there, John.
They were reserving an idea of a console. And GameStop did it. GameStop actually, I guess, created the SKU for it. Or
it's free money.
And people, and it was taking their money. But there's actually a way to reserve an NX at GameStop.
Yeah, they ain't gonna turn down no damn money. Shit, they ain't stupid.
GameStop is so dirty. That's unethical right there. You shouldn't, even if them people are suckers, they shouldn't be ripping them kids off like that, man. That's just. But like I say, the whole thing about NX is to delegitimize what Nintendo is doing right now. You know what? Because the Wii U is because the third party is trying to kill the Wii U, and they're trying to kill the NX too. Don't you understand? I'm gonna put it like this, guys. Nintendo can give you the Technodrome. They can give you Krang's Technodrome and power, and the third parties will not join them. It's not about power. It's not about none of that. Let me go into this stuff because let's go back to when the third party broke off from Nintendo in the first place. They've been salty. Nintendo came in with the NES and put down the law and told you how to run a business. And this joker saying they can run. Thirds don't run. You're vendors. You don't run. You don't make the storefront. You're supposed to serve the storefront. but you want to run the storefront. That's not your role, third party. The first party runs the storefront. So when Sony came in here and the third party had an out, because Sega was trying to be like Nintendo themselves anyway, right? They came to them and everybody said that discs were better than cartridges. That's bull. Discs were never better than cartridges. Nobody uses discs to save anything on right now. Everybody using these little flash cards, these cards, and these thumb drives.
These cartridges?
Exactly.
Using these cartridges?
It's right there in the word. Listen, it's right there in the word. Cartridges. Cartridge. Yeah. I can buy 35 gigabyte cartridge right now, cheap.
Yeah.
I can buy it for $30. And that sells to consumers. When you buy a wholesale, it's a lot cheaper than that. You mean to tell me this was better? This was slower. You had to load stuff up. They're fragile. They're easy to break. It's not better. It never was better. But that was the excuse they gave in the 64 generation why the 64 couldn't get the support, right? But they'll say, okay, I'll meet you halfway. I'll give you a disc. You want a disc? I'll give you a disc. You use cartridge to save. There you go. Here's a disc for you. No, the discs are too small. We don't want to do multiple discs. We want to put the whole thing on one disc. That's nonsense because the PS2 had multiple disc games just as well. It had nothing to do with the disc size. It had
it's one excuse to bitch. Let's just tell it like it is.
And then when it gave you the big disc that you always complained about, they gave you the Wii. And the Wii had the sales. The Wii had the biggest sales. It was a phenomenon out of the gate. You're supposed to jump into a phenomenon and make money. Oh no, it's underpowered. It's underpowered. You didn't say about the PS2. You didn't say about the PS1. You didn't say about the Genesis. You're liars. So the Wii U comes out. It's stronger than the PS3 and the 360 right now. It is outright stronger. It has strength. It has the disc. It has everything you asked for. It has ease of. It's so easy to
has more
develop
memory, all that shit. Yeah.
It's easy to develop for. There's no excuses. The indies love that console. You got everybody coming over there because they can make good use out of the thing. Those are the only guys that had to use the Wii U to its capability outside of Nintendo. And what are they doing? Oh, we can't support that. How come WWE 2K, which doesn't take that much graphic, it's graphical, but it's not the cutting edge, right?
Hey, John, you know what it is that you're looking at it from a rational perspective. You're not looking at it from a mindless drone fanboy.
Dumbass. Yeah. You have to put yourself into the mindset.
You'll get a lot of hate for this tonight.
You gotta put your mindset. You gotta put yourself into the mindset of dumbasses. And the thing is like you've got dumbasses who think that their limited field of view is the world. It's like, remember when we were kids and it would be raining outside and we would think, well, it must be raining all over the world.
Yeah.
And we were stupid. We were stupid enough to think some shit like that. Well, Poppy, give your sign out, and then we'll call it a day.
Guys, thank you so much for inviting me, man. It was a great conversation. John, man, I'm glad you're back, man. I'm looking for you, baby. Come on over. Come back over. Come back over to the light.
My schedule straightens out, man. I've been going through schedule hell right now, but I've been hurting not being on these podcasts, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, no problem, man.
We gonna arrange something.
All right, guys. You guys have a good one. I'll see you later.
All right then. But but we were talking about the bullshit that these people believe.
No, wait, one more thing to add on that, Red Fox. I'm gonna finish that point out. So we had the Wii U like this. So if NX comes out with all the cutting edge chips and all the thing they asked for, they're gonna still give me an excuse that they are invested in the PS4, they're invested in Xbox One, they're invested in mobile. It's gonna be the same shell game. It's gonna be like Lucy with the ball on Charlie Brown. She's gonna put the football out there for you, and you're gonna keep running as hard as you can, but you're gonna pull that ball every time you get there ready to kick. That's what they are here to do. You are not gonna get third-party support from Nintendo, not from the horsepower, not from the easy to develop for, not for the format choice, not because everybody's not even using this. By the way, NX will probably not even use this to begin with. And the thing is, they're not gonna do it until they kill the places the third parties are hiding behind. Until the places in Xbox are gone, the third party will never work with Nintendo again. They'll work with Nintendo under duress. But that's what this generation is all about. The generation is called unity. That's what you look at Japan. You are seeing a unifying effect right now. Sony is slowly but surely being pushed out of Japan by Nintendo. When they unify Japan, the dominoes will fall because Japanese is the first market. Still, everybody not think so, but Japan still rules the world when it comes to the console market. You don't win the world market without winning the Japanese market. And when Japan becomes under Nintendo, America comes, America follows, and so does Europe.
So they're
That's
gonna
why.
fall in line, is what you're saying.
That's exactly what this iteration is about. It might take a long time to show up, but it's going to show up. It's already happening right now. Xbox sells 100 a week. It's not. It's no
Yeah.
Xbox in Japan.
Well, they had a good one about 2 weeks ago. They sold about 700. I'm sorry.
So,
I mean, can we just say this as an aside? Microsoft, you know, Microsoft embarrassed themselves in Japan. I was like, why even embarrass yourself like that? Like, I don't even get that one. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, I'd be like, I'm not even gonna sell that shit in Japan because no one's gonna want it.
You know what, Doctor? Even when you mention about people are actually buying the concept of the NX, I'm sorry, but don't I recall? I recall that a similar situation happened when the Wii U wasn't even out yet, and just the concept of the gamepad, that someone actually bought someone bought a cardboard cutout of the gamepad. I'm like, what the hell? And now to hear this situation happening again with the NX, I'm like, do people not learn from the past?
People are stupid. I don't
No,
know.
human beings are not are almost programmed never to learn from the past. That's a flaw in our design, I think. To me, I think the situation is we don't have gamers anymore, or we don't have as many. We have people that like to buy. They don't want to play games. They want to play hype. They want to play excitement. They want to play headlines. Nobody wants to play games anymore.
They want to play popular shit so that they can talk to their friends about how they played the popular shit. Because when I was a kid, we all had different shit that we liked to play, and no one was like judging people on it. It was like, I like to play this, you like to play that. That's fine and dandy, you know?
Yeah, but now all I see is like I got like 2-3 friends on Facebook. All of a sudden, click. Look at my KD ratio on Call of Duty. I'm like, who really cares for that stuff? And where was you at when there was actual video game makers aside from Nintendo? Where was you as a gamer when it was like Sega was still around? Where was you at when PS1 was around? Where was you at when GameCube and PS2 was around? A lot of these people did not start gaming until last generation.
Yeah, a bunch of posers.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, all I'm gonna say is this: Sony fans kind of. I mean, look. Sony has always been my second console. Like, I would early adopt a Nintendo console, but Sony was always my second choice. But some of these new Sony fans, I mean, Jesus Christ, you people take it too far.
They see that's why I said they see that brand as like they follow that brand like it's some kind of religious cult or something.
It's kind of creepy. But speaking of Sony, here's a question from Anderson Archilla. So how's the Ratchet and Clank movie look? The series has always been DreamWorks or Animaniacs, so it'll be hard to mess it up. Well, I don't know if you know this, but most of Sony's movies this year have been pretty shitty. So here's hoping it's not shitty.
Sony's actually making a movie?
Sony has been making quite a few movies, but most of them have been really shitty. So I don't know.
Are they making this Ratchet and Clank movie?
Yeah, they're releasing it for Christmas, I think, or maybe January. It's like Christmas, January, around there.
They must be announcing the Ratchet and Clank game with the movie. That's what that's about.
Yeah, well, they're redoing the first Ratchet and Clank, and I'm not gonna lie, the shit looks good. I wish they'd have showed that at their E3 instead of the bullshit they did show, but whatever.
Speaking about the trailer of that film, I'm actually liking. I was very fond of how the narrator was kind of doing a double take just about every sentence he made.
I guess. I don't know. We have another question from Anderson Archilla. Anyone sickened by how much people will gladly talk about the idea of and rumors of a potential Nintendo console nonstop instead of actual games? Wish people were this chatty about Wonderful 101, Box Boy, and the like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I wish too.
Hey, you know people don't play games anymore, man. They just like the idea of games. But me,
well,
personally,
actually, that's not true. I read an article on Polygon because this is my hobby and I like to keep up on it. And this asshole was talking about how he liked The Last of Us. He liked the story of Last of Us, but he didn't. He thought the gameplay got in the way of the story. I was like, well, shit, man, you need to watch a movie. You don't need to be playing a video game.
What the hell? Yeah, he said that on the article.
Yeah, he said that on the article. It's like it got in the way. And like, well, first it was some shady shit on Polygon because first it said this was written by a Polygon staffer. Then it turns out it was there to promote a book written by the guy who wrote the fucking article. So I mean, it was like self-promotion. I was like, come on, Polygon. You guys are so full of shit. I'm sorry.
Was it Crescente?
No, it was some other guy. It was some really fucked. It was really unethical. And, you know, I'm glad people called him on it because they finally were like, okay, this was done by this guy. He's an independent contractor that we hired. And apparently, I mean, he's lucky. He got paid money to write an article to promote his own shitty book. That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Well, I tell you what, there are a lot of people right now that won't even play games unless they're being paid to do it.
Yeah. So.
And that's sad, but they claim to be gamers.
Well, they are gamers. Look,
that YouTube money.
I'm not gonna knock a gamer's hustle. If you get paid to play video games, God bless you. But I mean, no. Shit for fun.
But my issue with that is, don't call yourself a gamer if you only play games because you're being paid to play them. Like, if I got paid to play games,
that's a job.
I won't be the person that I will only play a game unless I'm being paid to do it.
Yeah, but that's a job. If you're getting paid to play a game, that's a job.
That's not a hobby. That's a job. Yeah,
it's like a porn star. They're paid to have sex. That's not like something they're doing out of enjoyment. They might get enjoyment out of it, but that's a job.
Yeah,
but that's a dream job.
No, that isn't a dream job. Look, have you seen the amount of those people that get STDs and suicide? And that's not a dream job. It seems like a dream job to people on the outside, but on the inside, it's terrible.
My apologies. I didn't mean porn. I meant gay.
Video games, yeah. Video games. Playing video games for a living would be a dream job. But I mean, like anything else, it's like if you're a professional. If you're like one of those people that like works in a restaurant and you're like a chef or something, you still like to eat, but after a while, what you cook, you would get tired. You wouldn't want to eat that like when you're not working. So, I mean, you can kind of get too much of a good thing.
Yeah, it's like being a game tester. I mean, it might be a gamer when they went in, but they won't be when they come out because you have to go through the bugs. You can't enjoy stuff. Yeah, when you see how the sausage is made, you don't want sausage no more.
Well, I mean, I'll be frank with you. When I was in college during the summers, for a little bit of extra money, there was a technical institute like about 15 miles away from my university, and like they actually made games there, and you could go there, and they would pay you like $15-20 an hour to test games. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like we would play for like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm telling you, those games were. I mean, after a while, you'd be like, this shit's boring, and just it's not fun. When someone tells you I test games, you think it's gonna be awesome, but they don't tell you like most of what you're testing is like either.
You play the game backwards.
Yeah, you're playing it to find a specific bug, and then you have to report it. I mean, it's a pain in the ass. But
which is why they created what's called a beta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do. They release the game, and then they make the people who bought it play it and have to report the bug, and then they patch it and they fix it later. So they pay you to test you pay them to test the game. It's genius. I mean, I wish I could dupe someone like that. Anyone agree? This is another question from AA, Mr. Anderson Archilla. Anyone agree that there are two obsessive types when it comes to gaming info? The type that want the actual information, even if it ruins the surprise, and those who take dubious info and make up their own conclusions and believe them as fact. Yeah, we know people from both of those actually.
Oh snaps! Right.
I'm not gonna mention any names because I don't want that bullshit.
Yeah, let's not do that.
we know exactly who you're talking about, Anderson. Another question is, so who else is enjoying Yoshi's Woolly World about now? Anyone else going to go for?
I am like 30 minutes from my house to play it.
Anyone else
He's driving.
going to go for 100% completion just for the fun of it, and then do it again and again and again?
I'm pretty sure my wife is gonna go for 100% of it because I mean I think I play like half an hour of it. She's played like maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I would say out of that, I'll tell you a short story here. I got the game Friday, you know, brought it home so we could play it, whatever. It was late. She said, you know, she played for like maybe 2 hours. She said, I'm tired. I said, okay then, I understand. Got in the bed and she says, bring me the gamepad. And I'm thinking like, okay, like maybe she wants to check something real quick because she said she was tired. This broad, yeah, I'm talking about my wife.
Oh, the
Played until the gamepad died. I
Played
watched her
gamepad to death.
literally, quite literally. I'm laying in bed. I'm enjoying it too. You know, I'm laying in bed, but dude, I literally fell asleep watching her play it on the gamepad, and then woke up the next morning to play Splatoon. That fucking gamepad's dead. And I'm thinking like, how you gonna sit it back on the charger, but not even plug the damn thing up?
Yeah, that is kind of.
And let me tell you something, people. That right there, playing a game when you're not in front of a TV, without the need of a TV, now that is
That's
cutting
next
edge.
gen. Yeah, that's next gen right there. That shit is next gen. Yeah.
Even $10,000 PCs aren't pulling that shit off right now.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell you right now. Anytime I can get up and take the gamepad and go to the bathroom and take care of business while playing my game and not skipping a beat, that shit's next gen to me.
Hey,
you can come out your 1080p, your 4K, your 2K. You can take that and shove it up your ass. Taking a dump while playing a video game, that shit's next gen.
I'm with you on that because when Black Ops 2 dropped on the Wii U, I have been playing Call of Duty while answering the Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly.
While doing
it's a double pun, but the shit works, you know. And I'm just saying. I mean, to me, that's next gen because that's a feature that no one else is really doing. Well, technically speaking, if you have a Vita, you can use transparring/streaming to play the game. But who's gonna go and spend $200 on a Vita just to do that?
Oh, come on. We got the NVIDIA.
No, check this out. Check this out. I seen it. It's a channel called Homemade Gaming, and they put out a video about there's somebody that's made games with water some kind of way, or some kind of technology with water, like water control. I'm thinking that if Nintendo ever gets into that, what if not we only play games not on the toilet, but while taking a shower?
Hold on now. Now we talk about water games in the shower.
Not those kind of water games.
I think some people take that a different way and play a different game. You know, you want to feed the need for speed, huh? You know, go ahead and grab that shifter.
No.
I can't.
And please, don't forget to pop the clutch.
That means I won't be able to play no fighting games, Dan.
Yeah, because you always need 2 players for that.
Oh, Red, come on now. That's a double meaning.
That's why I said you need 2 players for that.
And on top of that, I don't know if you can do a quarter circle motion with your fighting stick.
That was right, man. Enough with this double
I'm not even gonna touch that. I'm not even gonna touch that one.
Hey,
we have another.
The real fireball, Hadouken.
No, I'm not even gonna touch that one. I'm not even gonna touch that one. What I will say is this. We have another question here from Anderson Archilla. One of 2 left. Inevitable bugs and glitches aside, anyone worried about Fallout 4? The season pass for DLC, supposedly no skill points in exchange for the special stats being the main focus, and whole game overall being less of an RPG. Yeah, that's why I canceled my pre-order. I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna, you know, I get all types of merchant discounts.
Hold on, back up, if I may. Forgive my interruption, but if you just say And you being the person that I think about a month ago on a podcast,
Oh
you
yes,
said
yes.
that I am going to buy this game even though I know that you know who's behind it, and it probably ends up being a broken piece of shit. But I gotta play. Even when you fell into that narrow-minded, that mindset yourself
Yeah,
that we criticize. You mean to tell
yeah.
me that even now you, a fan, a loyal fan of this franchise, you have canceled your pre-order because you have found common sense.
Yeah, I canceled my pre-order. I was like, you know what? Like Bethesda is up to their normal tricks. And the thing that clinched it for me was that I tried to play Fallout 3 on my PC, and like I have a Dynamite gaming PC. Like I can play Skyrim ultra high settings. I can play Saints Row the Third, Saints Row 2, Saints Row 4, all ultra high settings, everything maxed out. No problem. No slowdown, 60 frames per second, solid, 1080p. I can play Fallout New Vegas just fine. Fallout 3, every time the thing won't even fucking start on my Dynamite PC, and I'm like, fuck you, Bethesda. I can't deal with that shit. I can't. Deal with it.
They put code in that thing that gimps it or something.
No, it's like basically like Bethesda makes really sloppy games. Their games are sloppy as hell. So you have to apply all these patches and make all these modifications to get the shit to work. And and here's the problem. I have two laptops. On my old laptop, it's like kind of like a piece of shit now. It works just fine. On my new laptop, that's like got 16 gigs of RAM. It's got an i7 plus another graphics card in it. It's a beast. Does not run. It is the most messed up shit I've ever seen. So you know what, Bethesda, fuck you. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm gonna wait until it goes on sale. And I see reviews of it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, because in about 4 months it's gonna go on sale. So, whatever. And it's gonna win Game of the Year or get nominated for Game of the Year. So it's a moot point. Anyone a bit spooked how after mere rumors of a Twilight Princess HD, dumbasses in mass naturally assumed that meant we'd actually be getting that and more remakes like Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 HD. Well, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 aren't technically HD. They didn't. The ones on the Wii U weren't redone in HD textures. The only HD remake that we've gotten on the Wii U is Wind Waker. Yeah, that's the only game that was remade from the ground up for HD. Now you can play Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in 720p up-res because initially they were 480p games, but the art style in that game is such that like even in 480 those games look pretty damn good. So
to me, I'm kind of surprised that people are actually thinking that they'll be getting HD remakes of Galaxy games, and yet those games are on the bloody eShop already.
For like
they're not. Yeah, people gotta realize they're not gonna be dumb like Square Enix. They already put Final Fantasy VII on. They made Final Fantasy VII like a PS1 re-release already on the PS4, PS3.
Yeah, which was just the Steam version.
PC, yeah. They did a PC port of it for PS4, and now they're doing a remake. So that's Final Fantasy VII 3 times on the same console.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No, in honest truth, if Nintendo's going to remake any Mario game, they're probably going to go beyond Galaxy. They're probably going to hit the Sunshine first.
Or 64. Yeah, or 64. And
they already made that already.
You're talking about a company that has a gaming studio of maybe 400 people that like have a limited amount of resources. Why would they go back and start redoing shit from 10, 15, 20 years ago when they could be doing working on new shit? I don't understand that, but that's just me.
The honest truth is, I mean, I don't mind a remake here and there, and only if it's been old enough. I don't want remake that came out 5 years ago.
Yeah, my thing is a remake is good if it's from at least 3 years, if it's at least from 2 gens. So technically, I know people were mad about, some people were mad about Twilight Princess, but Twilight Princess is technically a 6th gen game. So I don't get mad about them taking a 6th gen game and remaking it, or a 5th gen game. That doesn't bother me. But this shit with Sony and Microsoft, that it literally came out last like 3-4 years ago, and they're re-releasing it on their current shit. I'm like, no, that's not cool, man.
And I'd rather go ahead. Sorry.
And that is if they actually do remake the GameCube version of Twilight Princess and not Wii.
Well, yeah. I'd rather have Twilight Princess because it was just it's far enough removed that it meets my criteria. Like, because I mean, let's be honest. I love Twilight Princess. It has not aged the best graphically. So if any game could do well with a graphical overhaul, it would be Twilight Princess. Skyward Sword still looks pretty good because of the art direction. So I could see them maybe remastering that like in another gen because you got 2 gens removed from it. Like, I don't see them doing a redo of that now because literally, like, you have to remember, like, Twilight Princess was made using the graphical engine with a different art style as Wind Waker. They redid Wind Waker. They already have that engine, so it would make sense that they could do the same shit with Twilight Princess from the ground up. Just, I mean, and seeing how fucking awesome they made Wind Waker look, it went from looking like a cartoon to like soft claymation with cell animation on top of it. I would love to see what they could do with Twilight Princess. Just, I mean, because it's got a very interesting art style. It's not realistic, but it's not as cartoony as Wind Waker either. So,
what I would like to see, everybody skips this one. Everybody forgets about the one in between Wind Waker.
I tried. And I tried to. I had this. It was a bad book, but I had.
What is that?
What in the hell?
No, it's okay. Someone had a radio going or something in the background.
Listen, well, everybody skips this one though, and not only that, I'd rather them make new stuff than remakes. I don't mind a remake here and there, but new stuff. But we always forget about this Zelda. Nope, and I think that this game that's coming out this week is going to raise the value of these type of games. But everybody forgets about Four Swords Adventure.
No, I have that game. I love that game. I just don't think that it would do well with like you can't really HD a 2D game that well. Not necessarily
HD, but put it in where you can play. The only problem with that game, it put it through a complicated. You got to get Game Boy Advances to play it.
Right.
You can do it where maybe do it on the handheld where you can play Four Swords Adventures through the 3DS.
Yeah.
You think that'd be a good idea?
I think they could do that. That would be a nice little side project. But I mean, I would just rather see Twilight Princess HDified from the ground up than them like put the resources, because I mean, I think that'd be really easy. You'd use the Wii U gamepad and the 3DSs in connection, and you would be able to do all that shit like through there, or through the TV. Like maybe the Wii U gamepad would be your default Game Boy Advance, because in order to play that game, you could play it with a GameCube controller, but there were certain sequences that you couldn't do well, but you could do it with if you had because it came with the connector. You use the Game Boy Advance connector and everything with your Game Boy Advance. It would be awesome. I actually like that game. That had one of my favorite versions of Ganondorf, because the Ganondorf in that one was massive. He was beast.
Yeah. He was.
That was the ultimate boss battle, man. You gotta kill. Get it with that body, and then this big bastard. Come on, that's crazy.
What people don't realize is that Four Swords Adventure for the GameCube is actually the sequel to the Minish Cap. It's the sequel to the Minish Cap. It is a direct sequel to the Minish Cap, and most people don't know that one, but it is. And I love it. It's one of my favorite games. It's more of a party game, kind of like Triforce Heroes is, but I still loved it. Our last question from Anderson Archilla is, I'm interested in Car Battler Joe sometime down the line. I get the general idea and that there are apparently 3 million part combinations, but is there anything else I should know? It's got a very anime-esque story. It's fun though. I mean, I would advise you get it. Car Battler Joe. It's kind of like Metal Max, but it's like it doesn't have turn-based combat. You just go around in cars shooting shit, which is kind of cool. And then you can like build better vehicles and stuff. And when I played it, I never could get all the stuff in it. So, like all the different vehicles. Like I had a boat, I had an airplane car, and then I had like a standard vehicle. But I guess no one else played it, so.
Yeah, I'm actually lost for one. First time I've
Car
seen that
Battler
game.
Joe, yeah, Car Battler Joe. So now that we've gotten through those questions, it's time to move on to the final topic, which is actually pretty damn simple.
Well, can I go first?
Go
I'll
ahead.
First. The scariest game I've ever played is the modern gaming industry. That's the scariest game I've ever played.
The modern
I just have one thing to say with that. You, sir, are a complete dick.
The modern gaming industry is pretty damn scary, though.
So the question is, what's the scariest game we played so far?
Yeah, like you've ever played.
So far, Splatoon against Dr. Feelgood.
What the hell? Why are you bringing me into this, man?
Come on, man, that's not cool.
The roller of death.
You know how to mess around with that.
Oh my god.
He is scary though.
Okay.
I'm already gonna have like Halloween themed music playing when I play Splatoon on Halloween night.
Okay, who wants to go next?
So,
Okay.
mine, to this day, and everybody know what I'm about to say. We going back to the NES. You know what the game I'm talking about? It's called Friday the 13th.
Oh,
With Jason.
Yes, that game. Yeah, with no high level graphics, that thing did stuff that nobody. Atlas made that game. I didn't know that until way after the fact. Atlas made that game. LJN was the publisher. Atlas made it. The one I like Atlas so much.
Yeah.
They did stuff with that game.
That arcing rock though.
No, listen. What makes the game scary is that I don't think no game has ever done this since. Jason, the boss, can come out anywhere, anytime, anyhow. You could be in the house. You can walk right in there. It's empty. He turns around. He's there. You could be around that rowboat. He's there. And you can't even block because he kills you.
The only thing is that you get that music, and that was the only clue that you knew something was going down.
And he was so relentless, man. The Joker was coming at you. You had a rock. He's coming at you. You got to do these crazy jumps. You might have to take a hit. I mean, it's in the day to the night cycle. You got to deal with the wolves. You're trying to find them little red candles to get that little bit of power. I mean, you're trying to find a machete.
Well,
you got to go in the cave.
And plus, he had a huge amount of life. And even if you had the best weapon, with all the upgrades, you still did negligible amounts of damage.
No, not just that, but when you're in the house, he plays different ways. Like sometimes he'll go slow, sometimes he'll go fast, and sometimes he'll leave fast. He's unpredictable, and not just that. Once you finally thought you beat him, you didn't beat him. You got to do the whole game again. And the other guys are still dead. I wish they would do this in a 3D format because that would be really scary. Resident Evil is scary. Silent Hill is scary, but nothing has really captured. And they did it with 8 bits as Friday the 13th to me.
Resident Evil used to be scary. That's what I say.
It's scary, but Friday the 13th, when it comes to that Jason, he pops up, boom, boom, and he just, wow. That still messes me up.
Yeah. I would say, I already said my scariest game. But one of the, I don't say scary, but it's more like creepy. One more creepy, I think the most creepiest boss I've fought so far is still Gigas from Earthbound.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I didn't think he was all that creepy. I think Pokey was creepier than Gigas. Porky. Sorry. You gotta change the name due to translation. Porky I always thought he was more creepy than,
Yeah.
Gigas, yeah.
I mean,
I'm surprised
once you
none of
figure
you
out how to
even
beat him,
mentioned.
it's kind of like,
I'm surprised none of you even mentioned Zombie U.
I've been over zombies since 1990. Like I'm like, cause like my dad was one of those people who got a VCR early on, and he taped everything. And I remember when AMC used to show R-rated movies like late at night.
Yeah.
Like AMC used to show, and so one year AMC showed like a zombie marathon, George Romero all the way up to like stuff in the 80s. And my dad taped the whole damn thing, and I watched all of it. And I was like, this shit's not scary. This shit's funny. And so, like, ever since then, zombies just do not scare me. Like, I'm not like, ooh, he's eating that dude's brains. I'm like, he should have ran. So, like, zombies, like, Zombie U didn't scare me. Zombie U was like, I wish I had a better weapon than a fucking cricket bat. Like, you guys couldn't splurge on maybe getting like a golf club or a katana.
I mean, I can agree with that, but what I did find scary about Zombie U is that it captured that old Resident Evil, essence that you were extremely limited on your supplies.
Yeah, I mean it did, but I mean that was like the atmosphere. That was the mentality. That wasn't because the game itself was kind of creepy,
I would say my horror game. This was my only horror game that I had a chance to play, which is the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube.
Resident Evil 0.
No, Resident Evil 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did a remake of it, but I wasn't really impressed by it.
The little girl in the with the that was in the that became monstrous. That was a creepy part there. That did get me.
Well,
Alice? I forgot her name.
Yeah, I'm about to say, let's not talk about the original Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation. That one was more funny than scary.
Yeah, you are the master of unlocking. I'm sorry. I'll tell you the truth. The scariest game I've ever played. A close honorable mention goes out to Mario 64. The game itself isn't scary, but that haunted house level where you go to the piano and the shit moves and you weren't expecting that shit, that was kind of creepy. That was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that shit, dude. Don't, you bastards.
I used to be scared of Reed Dead from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, but I mean, they just hump you to death, so I guess. I guess that's kind of scary.
Those screams, though.
Yeah. But they still just hump you to death. I mean, that's terrible. What a horrible way for Link to go. The hero of time, humped to death by a zombie.
I would say Majora's Mask is scary because you only got 72 hours to save the world.
Actually, you've got 4 minutes, like Madonna from like that song 4 minutes. Sorry, I like that song. The scariest game I've ever played was Shadow Man for Dreamcast, PC, and the N64. I originally first played it on the 64. I still have that version, but recently on a sale I got Shadow Man for the PC, and I gotta tell you, it looks so much better than than how it looks on the 64. Like, I can see where the limitations were on the 64 version and how it looks so much better on the console version, but this game is just, it's very atmospheric, it's very dark, it's very, it's got the jump scares, it's got the creepy locations, you fight Jack the Ripper and serial killers and dead people. I mean, it's creepy as hell. It's dark, it's gritty. I mean, it's really atmospheric, and it's got enemies popping up in areas like, I know I cleared this room out, and the fuckers pop up and kill you, and you're like, ah, shit. I love this game. It's one of my favorite games. It's also not a game that I would play in the dark at night if I could avoid it. Which is why I'm gonna do a Steam stream Let's Play of part of the first part of that game, just to show people how fucking creepy it is. But yeah, that's the creepiest game I've played. Like, I don't get scared easily from other games. Like, if games are hard, I'm not afraid of them, but that game always creeped me the fuck out. And that's it. Anyone want to bring up anything else before we wrap up this podcast?
Well, I do have at least 2 things.
Okay. I mean, that's why I got this thing started early, because...
I'm
well,
almost home, believe it or not, since we've been talking on the podcast when it started.
Yeah, and we started at 5, so... No, go ahead, Triple M.
right. I'll take the bad one first. I can't remember which game this is, but there was recent news that there's a game that has a 60 gigabyte installation.
That's
Could someone
scary
refresh my
enough.
memory with? Could someone
Wow.
refresh my memory
Yeah,
which game that was?
that's Halo 5.
Uh,
Halo 5 is a 60 gig install. Yeah.
Now, I'm already wary about the whole installation thing, but I might have not read it correctly or had some sort of misunderstanding. But is the installation actually mandatory to play that game? So I'm hoping it's not.
I don't know. What I will tell you is that people need to... I mean, basically what you're dealing with is that people don't seem to understand that, you know, that's the way it is. I mean, like, here's the thing. Gaming now, like, Microsoft and Sony did shit, made backroom deals with third parties. Third parties wanted mandatory installs because they didn't want pirating of these games. Now, here's the thing. If people want to pirate a game, they're going to find a way to fucking pirate a game. Like, people have already figured out, they've already come up with a way to emulate a Wii U. It probably plays like shit, but the sentiment is there, you know what I'm saying?
That's all three
Right.
consoles now. There's emulation already for it.
Yeah, so, I mean, the fact of the matter is that they're going to find a way, like, people who want to pirate, they're going to pirate. They're going to steal, they're going to find a way to do it regardless. So why would you go out of your way to basically keep, like, maybe, you know, 5 to 10% of the people who might buy your thing from pirating it and alienate 50 to 60% of the base who just want to play a game? But that's what we're seeing, so, you know.
Yeah, because I don't mind a problem when that installation process is, you know, you can even without installation you can still play the game, but with it, the game might run faster or a bit more improved. But dear God, if it's really mandatory, that's like a deal breaker to me. But anyway, I digress. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is there's a site called Patriots.com, and they actually post their Triforce Heroes demo impression. Now, I'm only going to hone in on the whole this game not having a voice chat. Yeah, I know. Put down your pitchforks and your flame torches. Now, back then, even when Splatoon came out, I really didn't have a problem with voice chat. And I always said this: it's very easy to put to have a voice chat in a multiplayer or cooperative game, but I've always thought that it would have been much more intriguing if a co-op game came out and doesn't use voice chat, but some other sorts of communication. And for that, I would actually give a company props because they kind of thought something outside the box, which leads me to Triforce Heroes. There's a part where this author made me look at the communication in Triforce Heroes a bit different way. He sort of explained it that in my mind, I kind of picture it like, well, it's like you're actually your communication in the game is basically like comic books, or that you're reading a comic book strip. Because the way how it was set up, you got these speech bubbles going on to communicate other players. Now, when I read when I first read in, or the first sentence that I read in about the whole communication, I was like, oh yes. First thing in my thought, I'm like, yeah, this person might find it rather difficult to communicate with other players, anonymous players around the world or even region. But I was surprised to see that he really didn't have much of a problem with it, and actually enjoyed that aspect of it.
Well, it's kind of like how people don't seem to understand that, like, Nintendo, like, if there was a game that really needed voice chat, Nintendo would provide it if it really absolutely needed to be there. Like, I mean, like, people were saying, well, Splatoon, it needs voice chat. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, as someone who's played Splatoon with voice chat, really doesn't need it.
Can't
Would it
organize
be
it
cool?
fast.
It would be cool. Well, it would be cool for it to be there, but it's not absolutely needed. It's not like, oh my god, this game is completely unplayable if you don't have voice chat. It's nice if it's there.
Now, the correct word would be mandatory.
Well, I know the thing. No, it would be cool if it was there. You could talk to people who you normally would not be able to talk to, but it's not like this game is completely unplayable if it doesn't have voice chat. Because there are some games that if you don't have voice chat, it's like, I don't think I can play this.
Of course, it's just that when the complainants out there saying, if this game doesn't have voice chat, then it's unplayable. Reason why I put out the word mandatory, which is BS.
Let me tell you the only game that's unplayable without voice chat. You ready for this? Ready?
Ready.
The PS4.
Oh.
Without people talking about it, if it wasn't hyped up, it wouldn't be played right now.
Yeah, that's true. And
Sorry,
people
I
waiting
had to
for
troll
greatness.
for a moment.
Yeah, and people waiting for greatness that is still has not arrived.
Watch out, you're gonna get some death threats tonight, sir.
I don't care. Shit.
Hey, you know what?
I don't give a fuck.
Anyone that wants to talk to me about games, talk to me when you owned consoles dating back to the early 80s. Talk to me about that when you still own those consoles. And I'm not saying owning more consoles makes me more of a gamer, but still, as a person that's bought every console every damn generation, with the exception of a couple, please talk to me then, because you cannot call me a fanboy.
You think I give a fuck what people say about me? Seriously?
No,
see,
I mean,
I just block people. Fuck it.
Here's the thing about it. Yeah, it's party chat. Don't we already have something like that? It's called a microphone. We already have that on a computer. Is that special?
Hey, aren't we doing that right now? I mean, party chat.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, this is party chat right now. You can do that on the phone, a conference call.
Yeah,
That's all they do.
We've all, this is, like, people, like, I find it hilarious when people who own a console are bragging about shit that people who had decent PCs had fucking years ago. In some cases, over 2 decades ago. 20 years ago, they had digital conference calls you could do. 20 fucking years ago. 2 decades ago. Why are you bragging about just getting some shit 6-7 years ago that other people had for 13 years before that? I don't understand that, but whatever.
Oh shoot, we got another question from Anderson Archilla, aka Double A, that keeps going and going. Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, the Trans-Pacific Partnership has been passed or is close to being passed. Are we screwed? No, we're not screwed. Now, maybe people who live in Mexico and China are screwed, but we'll be fine.
What is
I
what?
speak for
What
myself.
pass?
I'm in the Caribbean, so
Well, okay, you might be screwed.
What pass?
The Trans-Pacific Partnership, which basically is kind of like a trade agreement that's supposed to rival. It's being passed that it's supposed to enable, America, Canada, and Mexico and South America are supposed to be able to make trade between like our nations and states and countries in North and South America. With to make trade easier with countries in the Trans-Pacific. So like Indonesia, India, China. Well, not China so much, but Singapore, Japan, Australia, shit like that, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand.
So it's kind of like NAFTA in a sense.
It's basically like the North American Free Trade Agreement, except it's not North America, it's the Trans-Pacific. And the reason people are calling foul is that it has all this other bullshit in the bill that like kind of is very shady and not cool. Here's the problem. The bill, even though the bill is passed, it still has to be implemented. It still has to be reconciled in Congress. There's a lot of shit that has to be done. So that stuff is probably going to get worked out. Some of it might get struck down. So I mean, it's gonna be 5 to 10 years before any of the effects of this are really felt. So calm down. And we've hit the end of the cast. This has not been an epic cast. We were able to get a lot of stuff done. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna end up doing my. I don't know when, but I'm thinking about doing a series of casts called the Magician's Secrets. Basically talking about some of the illusions that we've fallen for, and I think the first one I'm going to do is talking about E3 and award shows.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What's wrong with you? I mean, don't you know that video games need their own Oscars and Emmys?
Yeah, but those are just marketing. That's just marketing. Just glorified marketing. That's what a lot of those award shows are.
God dang it!
What right is like? Who am I to, say, oh well, these guys in suits say that this is the best movie that I should listen to, or this is the best music I should listen to, or this is the best movie I should listen to.
It seems like the game industry has a lot of insecurity, man. They don't feel like they're legit unless they have these big pomp and circumstances. You don't have to be like the TV and movie industries, and because they don't, everything about them is not all good anyway. I mean, right now I don't miss TV at all. Basically, my TV is YouTube. I watch YouTube as my TV. I come home, I'm watching better shows. Team 4-Star, I'm waiting for the Android 13 movie. They're better than what's on the TV. Homemade people are making better stuff, better entertainment than these so-called professionals on these broadcasts and cable networks. I don't even.
Ain't nothing on
cable at all.
TV, but ain't nothing on TV, but a bunch of brain-damaging reality TV anyway.
And what's the good stuff is The Simpsons. It's not much longer for that anyway. The last really good stuff is gone.
Well,
Almost.
I mean, I'm not going to say TV is completely useless. What I will say is this. Most of the really good stuff on TV is also on either YouTube or on their own sites. Like, I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I don't watch it on TV. I watch it on the official website. I like Rick and Morty. I watch that on the Adult Swim website. I don't watch it on Adult Swim.
And then it's not just that either, but look at all these streaming sites and the catalogs they have.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? That brings up something too, and I made a post about this today. But the theaters are upset at Netflix.
Now that is a hard move.
Because Netflix has decided to not only there's a movie coming out starring Idris Elba. I forget the name of it, but Netflix basically funded the movie. The movie I think had like a $3 million budget. Netflix doubled it to six, and it's a new movie. It will be premiering directly on Netflix and alongside some theaters, and the theaters are pissed because now they're going to have to behave because if you think about it, they've had a stranglehold in market themselves. Like the theaters only, basically enemy are the ones that release shit online digitally. But other than that, they've had a stranglehold, and now that we've seen Netflix kill the rental market, like Blockbuster Hollywood Video, and we've seen them slowly chip away at the cable and satellite industry, and they're doing that with their own, exclusive content like House of Cards and the wonderful, wonderful Daredevil. With especially, I hope the upcoming Jessica Jones as well. Looking forward to that. But anyway, now they're going to be releasing movies directly to Netflix, and they're not happy about this because this is yet another industry that's looking to either get their shit together because they've gone so long without really any ramifications, or they need to pay attention or if not, just die out. And I'm not against it. I think it's a great idea because competition breeds ingenuity. It really does.
Well,
I would say that is.
Go ahead, Dr. Feelgood.
No, I was done.
Oh, okay. Well, I will retort. The movie theater isn't something that can be like the movie theater isn't just going and watching a movie. I know a lot of people think it is, but it isn't. The movie theater is an experience. It's like going to it's like going to an amusement park and going on a ride, right? Like someone can show you a videotape of being on a roller coaster, but that isn't the same experience as actually going on a fucking roller coaster. Like watching a movie on Netflix is not the same as watching in the movie theaters. For example,
unless you have a big screen TV or projector.
No, even if you have a big screen TV or projector, like a home theater, because I have a friend who's fucking loaded. He has a home theater, like in his basement, like an actual mini home theater. It's still not the same as going to a movie theater.
Yeah, the experience, it's just like a Nintendo game. You can't get that experience anywhere else. And
exactly.
Like, even though I have friends and family that when we have gatherings, that they have their cell phone, and I don't care about those illegal download sites where this person to put on a movie that's still in theater from their cell phone and shooting to the television. It's like, but to me, the experience means a lot. I like going to the theater, not only to support that film, I know, but there are some you shouldn't support, like Fantastic Four. But I like the experience of going to the theater.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not against Netflix doing what they're doing because I think that some of these Hollywood studios have gotten out of line.
Their budgets.
I mean, to me, they become just like third-party game developers. Whatever, they know they're releasing sometimes bullshit. They're interfering with directors and causing a bunch of turmoil. And we've actually gotten a lot of crappy films in theaters as well. So I think it's going to help them either get back. It's going to help them get back on track, or it's going to start chipping away. Because this is not the first time a movie has been released in some other place besides the theater. Because I think like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I think a movie called Centurion, it was released on Verizon Files through On Demand.
Yeah, and I mean, like, here's the thing. Like I said, it's like I don't see that as being like in competition with movies. Now. And the only reason I don't see it as being in competition with movies is because, like I said, it's the experience you're going to the movie theater to see. Like, I recently got to see Man of Steel in a theater, in an actual movie theater. Now, I fucking hate that movie, but I saw it on Netflix. I saw it on Netflix. But then I went to a movie theater. I'm like, I can understand why people like this movie. I still don't like it, but I can understand why people were like, it didn't bother me. I can understand it because the experience of being in a theater and having surround sound and seeing Superman destroy like 60% of a city that he's sworn to protect is it's really fucking awesome. It looks really cool. It sounds really cool. Just destroy 60% of the city, and not even once like, man, maybe we need to fight on the moon or in space or shit in the middle of nowhere. But I digress. But my point is that I can understand why people like that. But I do think you're right that there does need to be a reckoning because, like, there used to be different budgets of movies. You had your low-budget movies that were like 5 to 10 million, your mid-budget movies that were like 15 to 25 million, and or like your upper-tier mid-budget movies, maybe the max budget would be 50 million. But now, like everything, a lot of these studios, like Warner Brothers made 450 million. No, they made like 480 million off of Man of Steel, and that was a disappointment for them.
It sounded like third-party game development.
Yeah, it does. It does. Now, if someone told me I made 50 million, I'd be like, damn, I did pretty well. But for them, it's like we were expecting at least $800 million.
Well, what you have to consider is, you know, some of that money they have to pay their artists. They have to pay. There's all these people that have to get money, that have to get paid. So you also have that dilemma too. So who knows actually the real amount of money they're getting back?
It must be that marketing money.
But
yeah, I mean, because they spend a lot of money on marketing.
Like you cannot tell me that if you spend, let's say, the budget in terms of making the movie, all the associated costs, even the marketing is about $200 million. If you bring in $500 million, you should be clapping for joy because you doubled your investment. Just like even Del Toro was happy about Pacific Rim because in America it wasn't doing that great. But once it got overseas, that money started rolling in, and it didn't make triple its budget, and they're still very happy about it. And they're still even considering a sequel to it. So you can't. There's no way you can tell me that, you know what, we spent $100 million, we made $200 million, we're not happy. It's like not every movie is going to be Avatar. Sorry.
You know what I find very, very rubbish about this this news?
No, what?
And not because of Netflix having that rights of that film to be on Netflix. It's how the theater went about it, cutting off that film entirely. And I'm like, are you guys so butthurt that you refuse to show that film in theaters? I mean, I'm still thinking about some region that doesn't even have Netflix, doesn't even have internet, but they do have access to the theater. So those people are going to be burned. They can't see that film.
Well, I mean,
but it's actually more to it than that, because from what I read, and this also ties into an article I read with Netflix concerning House of Cards. When they were going around shopping the House of Cards, you know, the one from Netflix, shopping it around to a studio that would, you know, that was willing to invest, no one wanted to, because to them it may be good, but they didn't see it as yielding, you know, explosive results or explosive potential. So Netflix funded that show for I think like $50 million. Now it's like one of the top new shows that come out. It's doing well, and even Kevin Spacey at the award ceremony, he was like, all these Hollywood, you know, movie studios need to take note from Netflix and start funding more people, because there are great shows out there. They may not make $300-400 million or $1 billion, but they're only taking chances on big risk, big reward, but not necessarily a smaller one. And this was a $3 million budgeted movie, so small budget. No theater wants it because it's not going to make $500,000. $500 million.
And here's the thing, and here's the really hilarious thing is this. You watch, like, you listen, you watch these people, and it's like you don't seem to realize that. I mean, like people are looking at Netflix. They're like, well, Netflix is doing this now, but there's a cable network that's been doing this shit for 25 years. You might know their old slogan. It's not TV. It's, come on, HBO. It's not TV. It's HBO. HBO's been doing this shit for years. Anyone here remember a little TV show called The Wire?
Yeah. Yes.
with Omar. Oh shit! Don't get me started
And
with
plus,
Omar.
even just the damn name, home box office.
Home box office. I mean, HBO would take something, make it on a budget, put it on their thing, and they would win all types of awards. And they're still between HBO and Netflix. They're like taking all the shit. They're still the Sopranos. They're taking everybody's lunch. And I remember when that shit got started. I remember watching like HBO's HBO half-hour comedy shows, HBO boxing. They used to show almost like pay-per-view level fights on HBO. It was awesome. But it got kind of expensive for them to do that. But my point is this: is that like sometimes not everything has to be a multi-million-dollar seller. Not everything has to make you. Has to be ultra successful. Sometimes you can spend a little bit of money and make some money back, and you can take a small risk and make a decent profit, and that can keep you in business. And that leads to, was in a podcast yesterday, people were talking about how gaming has really changed and, the budgets are out of control, but really that's why we need mid-tier developers. We need THQ. We need companies like how Ubisoft used to be before they got the big head.
We need Acclaim. And
we need Acclaim in Midway and Jaleco and Natsume. Well, Natsume's still around, but we need we need
EA Big.
EA. Well, I mean EA, but
EA Big.
EA Big. We need these types of places. We need Quintet. We need these types of places. We need these companies. We need shit. I forgot who held the rights for Lufia. Damn. Ban Presto. That's what it was. Ban Presto. We need mid-tier. You need the mid-tier. You can't have all indies and all big people with no one in the middle. So that's why when I see Deep Silver, I'm like, I can't get too mad at you guys because you're a new mid-tier developer. We need mid-tier developers. Not everything has to be fucking multi-billion-dollar, profits, with $100 million budgets.
And
It's go big or go home.
That's what disappoints me is that when I read this article, all I could think about is like, okay, comparing the two industries, you got video game, you got Hollywood. The way the game industry now is leaning more towards movies. Movies are now trying to be more like the gaming industry.
Hey,
And that's what because the movie studios are only willing to back big budget, bigger return movies like Avengers, like Iron Man, and things like that. Whereas, what about the smaller stuff? Like, will we have even gotten Daredevil if it was for Netflix? Probably not. And now you have gaming studios making movies like The Order 1886, and with these big budgets, they have more cutscenes and less gameplay, and yet it's like, okay, you spent $200 million on this game, or $100 million, or in the case of Grand Theft Auto, they spent $250 million on this game.
You know what some of those
movies now.
You know what some of those those mid-tier games have that a lot of those AAA games don't
Ingenuity,
have
creativity,
heart. They don't have enough heart. And those other things too, like creativity and ingenuity. Those games have heart because the people who are making them actually seem like they really want to make something special.
Like the guy with Unraveled.
Unlike the AAA studios, they're only more interested in making profit and making sure they're at least meeting a certain
trying to get the fiscal quota.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, well, we have to sell so many of these units in order to get our money back, and it's like, dude, I mean, it's sad. It's really sad.
Well, given this scenario, I do have a hypothetical question. If every game today was made on a mid-tier to low budget, so if every game today, let's say in today's current technological state, where we can make things in 4K, movies, games, whatever, And gaming, though, the budgets were 5 million, 10 million, just somewhere around there. And most of these games would probably look somewhat like Splatoon or like maybe, you know, lower tier games. Do you think
Where
people
you
would still
going with
bitch
this,
about
Dominic?
graphics? Like, will people still bitch about graphics in the game if all games look similarly the same or had the same budgets? Because it seems that money has become an issue in judging a game now, where a game like Splatoon probably had maybe a 10, $15 million budget, but I mean, damn, I've already sunk in 500 hours into this game, and yet a game like Grand Theft Auto with $250 million, I may have put in 50.
Money well spent, and the other one, not so much.
Uh, I'll be honest with you. I think if more companies had learned to budget well for making their games and stop relying so much on like, well, we need the latest, greatest graphical engine, we need more powerful hardware, and instead focused on we need to master the tools that we have, you would have better quality games. You would have a game that maybe looked like
Prince of
Saints
Persia.
Row the Third, like graphical fidelity, GTA 5, but you would have a fucking single player that had lowriders and not only going to fucking online and nothing for single player. Like, I mean, it would be a better experience. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you why it's like that. I'll tell you why it's like that. Why they have to concentrate on money, and why they got to concentrate on marketing. The why? They don't have craft. It's that simple.
Yep.
They're not good game makers, or they're not as good game makers, and they can't sell their games without these things. If they can sell their games on the merits of the game, you won't have to worry about this stuff. We've been dealing with this for how many decades, where everybody tries to get over the leader of craft with hype, marketing, and money. It's not gonna get you but so far. And here's another thing I'll say that buttons the whole thing up. A body has to have a top, a bottom, and a middle, or they don't have a body no more. So when industry is very very small, it's basically like income inequality. When you get very poor and very rich, the body's falling apart. It's going to be a revolution.
Yep.
And you see what I'm saying? A revolution. We came at full circle, didn't we?
Well, I mean, it's just like any other business. If all you have are products that appeal that are only on the shelves for the ultra wealthy and nothing for poor people, or everything is for poor people and nothing for people who want to spend a little bit more for some higher quality, like, you have to have all gamuts of products. You know, you need to have your $15 games, you need to have your $30 or $40 games, you need to have your $50 and $60 games. You need to have budgets that go with that. Like, a $15 game shouldn't have a $2.5 million budget. $15 game can maybe have like a $100,000 budget.
Well, I have a question. So, between your low, mid, and high tier budget games, where do your $40 and $50 DLC fit into that?
That tells me that you are a shitty developer. And I was thinking about that with EA and the Battlefront DLC. The reason that they have such expensive season pass is because they probably have to give, like, that game is $60. They probably have to give like $25 to Disney for the license agreement. Like, so not only did EA pay X amount of dollars for the license, they also have to give a portion of every unit sold to Disney. So how are they going to make money off of this shit since they did all the work? Season pass. That's the only way they can really make profit off of it.
We've been here before, and it was called the 1980s. Atari, when they got out of the power of Nolan Bushnell, run by a bunch of bottom line suits, talking about the fiscal quarter, trying to sell games on money over craft, and that led to a crash, didn't it? It's every history repeats because human beings don't learn their lessons. That's why we keep fighting wars. We just fought Vietnam, and we forgot that we shouldn't have fought Iraq. We do the same things over and over because we don't learn our lessons. Not enough of us. A few of us do, but enough of us don't. And it's going in the same direction. Everybody wants to be like Hollywood. You're gonna fall just like Hollywood does. You know, everything can't. You keep trying to be a wannabe. You're a game maker. Stay in your lane. No, and be proud of what you are. Be proud of what you do, and work and improve your craft. That's how you sell. That's how you get the sales. when you're good at your game long enough, you'll get your reward. That's what you need to do. You don't need to sit there and try to hype up to the moon. Hype's fun, but back it up with something too. I want the hype backed up with something. So I know when I buy it, it's worth the hype.
All I'm gonna say is this: I'm done. I'm done with this bullshit. And here's the thing: there are too many other options in gaming. It's not like these companies are the only game in town. There's handheld gaming. There's PC gaming. There's other things to do. And like I said, even if you want to get something, like I'm not getting Fallout for 4 months. I'm not getting it till February. I don't give a shit. I'll wait until my birthday to get that fucking game. Either I'm gonna get it on sale or I'll have someone else buy it for me for my birthday. So now that we've gotten that out the way, we kind of went off on a tangent. We were doing closing statements. Anyone else have a closing statement they want to say before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I can't watch television anymore. I don't know what it is. It's not that television is bad or anything. I don't know what's up with my attention span, but I'd much rather play video games or read books. I can't really watch.
It's the commercials, isn't it?
It's not even the commercials. I don't know. I just can't sit down and watch TV anymore.
Yeah, lost that spark. Cause, well, with me, I could still watch prime-time TV shows.
It's the writer. When that writer strike happened, we didn't recognize how powerful that was. When the writers start striking, they try to turn everything into reality TV. Quality of the writing went down, and the TVs are not compelling anymore. TV shows used to be somewhat entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
They are in some places, but not most places. And if they are, you probably watch them on your internet anyway, like you say.
Okay then, so I guess that's what everyone has to say. Stay tuned next week. I might do a BS Busters. But I probably might talk about movies instead because it's Halloween week. Well, it's not Halloween weekend next week. Halloween weekend the week after next. So I might do a creepy cast that week. Talk about scary ass movies. Movies that scared the shit out of us as kids or as adults. Like you just cannot sleep. You can't sleep with the lights off. You need to leave that night light on for these movies. I might do that Halloween, so look forward to that. Next week, I don't know what I'll do. It'll be something. There's always some bullshit going on in this industry, so. And with that being said, I bid you guys good night.
Oh, we're supposed to do outros?
Oh, yes, the outros. Oh. Well, that's what I said. Do people have anything else they want to say before we wrap things up? So,
sorry,
that is the outros.
I must have dozed off. Well, here's my outro. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Triple M. I do apologize for being late on this cause, just because, well, half of it is not my fault. I'm looking at you, Google. Other part, I was just as soon as I was entering this cast, I really did not feel so well, but thank goodness that came to pass. And shout out to Papa 2K who just left recently. Now, Aubrey, I didn't forget about your request. That goes for one Kong, also on the back burner, and very active officer out there. I may not do some lewd artworks, but
who's playing video games?
That's Dr. Feelgood. And it's really freaking loud.
Yeah, they ain't playing Mario Maker, bastard.
Nope, he's playing the Happy-Go-Lucky.
Playing the hell out of Yoshi. I would be playing it right now, but like my cradle, my gamepad's charging.
Well, this has been Triple M, the Lone Wolf, and Funds for Games that forms into a fireball, ooh, hot, and also pops out my artworks. Signing out.
Let me put the Rock out here. Let me get him out of the way. The Rock said this is the best damn podcast there ever was. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
I'm down with it.
All right, I'll go next. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got some brain cells added today. This is the one and only Cage Anime here. I just got back from my out-of-town trip, and I have something to present to you guys.
Yoshi!
Yep.
Yeah.
Yoshi! You know, I started, I haven't even opened the package yet, but because I
I don't know you guys can hear that.
No, I downloaded it. Yeah, we did hear it. It was so loud I had to mute the damn thing. Yoshi!
Keep playing the game on, folks.
Yeah.
And go buy that. If you're a real man, you buy that pink yarn Yoshi amiibo.
No, I'm the realest man ever because I got the thing from GameStop with the Mega Yoshi. So yeah, I'm real manly. My testosterone is off the charts.
I thought the Mega is just not out yet.
No, man, you buy the thing. It comes with the Mega. It's in the package.
I didn't even know.
You buy what thing?
Yeah, there's a package. It comes with the Mega Yoshi, but it's only at GameStop.
Oh well, yeah, I just bought my bundle from just a regular bundle from the store, and I got all 3 other colors too. So.
Yep, so do I.
So yes, grown man play with dolls, people.
It's
no, they are action figures, son. Action figures.
No, gotta feel good. Call them scale.
No difference. They're a doll. Whether it's a G.I. Joe or Barbie, they're dolls. I'm sorry.
No, they're action figures, son.
Gotta feel good.
Yeah.
Gotta feel good. Call them scales. They're dolls.
And you know what the grown-ass man also gonna say? They're cute as hell, man.
They are.
I almost took, for the first time, took them out of the package. Almost. But I decided to go ahead and do my typical surgery where I can use them without taking them out of the box.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, Doc, I have to ask you a question after we go off the air.
Is this about Rosalina?
Yes.
Okay.
Rosalina, sorry. AKA God. So who else wants to sign off until we're...
Well, I'll go ahead and sign off. I hadn't went yet, but Dr. Feelgood, sorry for the cutesy noise you hear in the background. I'm gaming, people. That's all you need to know. But yeah, I may have some content coming. I may not, and the reason I may not because I do have a life, and I like to play my games, not always make videos about them. But be on the lookout for something, maybe. But until then, play that damn Yoshi.
Yeah, that's another game that came out last month that just never gets played.
Look, I just got it, man, okay? I just got it coming to my wife, okay? So, I'm going to play it. He's talking about Mario Maker, shut the hell up. I'm going to play it. I will show you again. I got it, man. I'm going to play it, but I got this other stuff too.
Yeah, people got too many games to play.
Yeah, I
don't want to hear anyone.
My crack addiction to the Mario Maker.
Yeah, I don't want anyone saying, because you know the videos are going to come out before Fallout drops and after Battlefront. I got nothing to play. Look, between Steam, Nintendo, and the 3DS and handheld, if you have nothing to play, it's your own damn fault.
Doc, I got a level for you. I got to add some pencil touches.
I'm just saying, man. I understand. I got to play the game. I got to catch up. You got levels, but let me just show you something really quick. You just give me a moment.
Take your time.
Are you guys
before Dr. Feelgood shows his pièce de résistance, I'll give my sign off.
See, look, you see this? This is a line of games that I must play.
Yeah, I mean the dude. I mean, look at that shit.
I am so bloody envious of you.
Okay,
Yeah,
take a good look, people.
Jesus.
I
This
mean, look
is
at that
just
shit.
the Wii U collection,
Yeah,
and it's not even all of them.
yeah,
Wow.
Some are
Before they
digital
even
downloads.
and
So,
I mean,
and then, I'm sorry. You know, this is for KH and our viewers out there. You know, you got this,
Yoshi.
and you got this. Okay.
Yes! Yes!
Dude, you are addicted to that game, KH Anime. But
So-
enough of that. Enough of that. I'm gonna give my sign off, and then we can wrap things up. This is Mr. Red Fox once again. BS Busters is glad to have you guys who watched, stayed through from 5 to almost 8 o'clock. It's because of you guys that we do this, and get the word out there, because there's a lot of bullshit in this video game industry, and sometimes you got to just bust it. So with that being said, don't take any BS. I haven't taken any since 1991. And yeah, if that means someone considers you crazy, just remember, if you're going to be crazy like a fox. Good night.
It's already from time? Time for my damn
Time to
second.
play Yoshi, damn it.
Yoshi!